Hi everyone, Arsenal Fan Circle here is Sunday show. It is an Arsenal podcast, but we are doing a kind of a watch along thingy, and we're going to talk about the Premier League and we're going to talk about some Arsenal stuff. So it's going to be a mixture because we are starved. Well, we've been starved of Arsenal football, Matt, and we've seen some Premiership football this past weekend, some highs, some lows, and we've just seen the new kids on the block score. Newcastle 1, the old enemy 0.
Yeah, great to see them go down so soon, isn't it? Yeah, it didn't take Newcastle long at all, did it? But yeah, that's going to be an interesting conversation a little bit later, I think, about obviously Newcastle's recent takeover and all of that going around the club. So that's going to be very interesting. But yeah, it seems like forever since we've seen Arsenal play. So I can't wait for us to get to stuck into Crystal Palace. That's going to be great.
Yeah, and with West Ham winning today 1-0, I was sort of. Are you watching the league table a little bit? Sort of not thinking, Matt, that we're obviously going to turn up and get 3 points is going to be as easy as that tomorrow night. But 3 points. Where's that going to put Arsenal? How many teams are we going to jump? And for me, West Ham beating Everton has sort of tightened things up a little bit because they're two teams we want to be looking to be in contention with, West Ham and Everton.
Yeah, I think if we win tomorrow, I think we go up to seventh, I believe, or eighth. So we've got a chance to kind of go up a few places in the table. So it's a really good opportunity for us. I think Arteta and the team will be looking at the table now, thinking this is a must-win game to kind of leapfrog a few teams and get ourselves into a good position. So it's opportunities and games like this that are really going to count this season. We need to make
Yeah.
the most of it. Yeah.
Opportunity knocking, as you say. Not this game withstanding. If Newcastle do beat Tottenham, that keeps Tottenham obviously down there a little bit lower and closer to us in the table. And Newcastle on 3 points right now, but hoping to get this new regime, new kids on the block. They're calling it the top seven now, Matt. And obviously, yeah, we're going to touch on this, the Newcastle takeover, and the landscape in the Premiership right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, everything that's going on at the moment with Newcastle, that's going to change things again. Another big money club, but obviously, not quite now, but it's the next, say, 5-6 years where that will probably be more interesting. But yeah, they need the points, Newcastle, and obviously we need those points being removed and taken away from Tottenham. So we can
Yeah.
climb up the table. So right now, that 1-0, if it can stay like that, or Newcastle can extend their lead, that would be lovely.
Yeah, and Wilson, I think we just scored. It's kind of a diving header from across on the right side, and we see the new powers that be celebrating the goal there. So hello, chaps. Hope everyone is doing good. Big win for West Ham. Yeah, we're going to talk about every team, but let's have a word about West Ham, Matt. We did a podcast last season, probably early. It was the third game when we faced West Ham. I think second or third game in the season. At that point in time, we were looking to be the Europa League candidates again for another season, and West Ham were supposed to be flirting with relegation. Well, I've been watching West Ham ever since. They seem to have taken on Arsenal's status in the league, and we've sort of taken on that mid-table status temporarily, hopefully, for this past season. So, West Ham is a team that I want to kind of wrestle control back from.
Yeah, they look good. It's whether they can really keep that going consistently, and whether that's because obviously we've still got a long way to go towards the end of the season. Whether they'll maintain that or start to slip down the table. At the moment, they look fairly strong, and you'd say they'd be knocking on those European places, and they're going to be a team that we're going to have to really jostle with, to get into that top six group of clubs. So yeah, they're not going to be easy, and I'm sure obviously we won't have an easy game when we come to play them next. That's for sure. So they're going to be an interesting one to watch this season. But there's a few clubs around them. Obviously Brentford are doing quite well. Whether they can push on and maybe knock for that and have a good first season in the Premiership, and who knows. But no, they're looking like a good side. They're doing well.
A good one here from Reddy. Amanda Staveley looks high with 6 points of Northern Ale in her.
I think most do with 6 points of that stuff.
Yeah. The belief in that team is high. They look a very good side. So West Ham, and the thing about West Ham, we'll just focus on West Ham and Everton because they are probably the two most recent results this morning. The thing about West Ham is they have went out in the summertime and they've bought pretty well. They've fortified a squad that they already had, and they've bought good players.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, all of the teams around us seem to be making good acquisitions. I think a lot of them had a fairly strong spine to start with. So, hi, Mahir, how you doing?
Yo, my
Good to see
guys.
you. Welcome.
Good morning. Morning, evening, afternoon, everyone.
Yes,
So-
sir.
Right now, we're just talking about West Ham and that result earlier this morning. West Ham going to Goodison Park, winning 1-0. So it's going to be a show about pretty much everything going on in the Premier League right now, and with a particular emphasis on the Newcastle game. Newcastle leading Mayer 1-0 over Tottenham at the moment.
Wow. Are we going to put some emphasis on Manu United as well? Getting work.
Yeah, we'll have a word. We will have a word for Man United. I'm not that high and mighty, Gunnar, that I say we're so bad that we cannot have any banter. We cannot have a laugh. We cannot ridicule other teams. We have to. That's what it's all about. We'll take it when we're bad.
100%. When everyone was slating Pepe and all of that, and then, Sancho comes in and does absolutely nothing. The wheels are falling off of Ole's bus, and it's good to watch. Long may it continue.
Yeah, mate, long continue. We have to go do the business tomorrow as well, though.
Yeah,
definitely.
Notwithstanding everything we're saying right now, it needs to go along with 3 points tomorrow at home to Crystal Palace. The reverse fixture last year in January was a 0-0 draw, so we don't want that tomorrow. That would send our fan base into a little bit of a tailspin, even though Brighton, who have been up there high and mighty and doing well, they got a 0-0 draw with us last time out, but was not able to get 3 points yesterday against Norwich City.
Yeah, it's just we love a performance. That's what we want to see week in, week out. I mean, losses and stuff, you can't expect too much right now since Arteta is still in the job. He's still doing his thing. And he's going to burn out some of these younger players. Like, I'm worried. Like, I get worried about Martinelli and the Sakas of the world, Like, what does Pepe have to do to play? I know I've slated him, to say it's not yet on 70 million value-wise and everything. But then again, that's not his fault.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, I think Pepe is going to have a part to say in this season.
He's going to have to. We can't play the same young players week in, week out for the whole season. So there's got to be a chance for him to come in somewhere, and he's got to just make sure he takes that opportunity when he gets it, isn't he? Who knows? He may get a chance against Crystal Palace.
I hope so.
I think he'd be well suited, to be honest with you, for that game. And actually, it's a good opportunity to rest a couple of players, maybe bring them on second half and give Pepe a start. I don't see why we wouldn't do that. Martinelli, for as much as we all want him to play, when he has played, I think he is going to be one of these ones that we do slowly kind of introduce him and bring him in and give him minutes, because when he has started, he hasn't had the most incredible standout performances. I know we've all wanted him to do that and come on and score a hat-trick or, really light the stage up, but he just hasn't been able to do that. So I'd rather probably see Pepe come on than Martinelli at this point, to be honest, and get his minutes, because I think he's more impactful.
Mayer, talking about Martinelli, it does seem like he's pressing a little bit too much when he does get the opportunities. He's trying to impress and be eager and doing all the things that he does. He's probably one of the only players that does press hard and well from the front, but the rest of the team don't tend to help him. So he's the kind of player who has to wait for his opportunities. And even within games, I think, he's going to have to let the game come to him a little bit and not try and go find the game. I think that's where Martinelli is having issues. And we have persisted with Aubameyang. Next one up would probably be Lacazette, and then after that would be Martinelli. Do you see Martinelli as a striker or a left-sided winger, Mahir?
You know my answer to that question. As a striker, he's very pacey. The funny thing, like you mentioned, was there's no backup, man. Like, as in, you need support. You need support for a whole structure or formation to work. You need everybody to be pushing themselves to the limits. Then we can even accept a 1-0 or 2-0 loss, for example, and say, like, but the guys did absolutely everything. Let's just say for today, away
the lads.
Away.
And it's a very thick accent. I would not be able to pull it off. I'm going to say that right here, right
Yeah,
now.
I had such a good laugh yesterday because on the United channel they had Andy Tate, and he was like, bloody hell, I don't care. That guy. And he made it so funny. I was like, yo, bro, why did you say I don't care?
So Mahir, BX Gunner said since Martinelli's come back from injury, he hasn't had a good run. He needs a solid run to start seeing what he's really about.
Absolutely. But he needs the support as well. He needs everybody else also pushing around him because, I mean, it's pointless having, like, for example, it's pointless having a good keeper if you don't have defenders in front of him that are positionally aware of what they're doing at all times. I mean, Maguire made a mistake yesterday, for example, that led to a goal. Quick. It was a quick disposition, like, okay, you want to play out through the back. Just one mistake, and Vardy or somebody is on him. And just like that, goal. Beautiful goal also. You need support. Both Pepe and Martinelli are players who need a game of runs to get the best out of them. Absolutely, Stan.
It's very difficult with the players they've got in front of them, though, isn't it, to get them that run?
Yeah.
Lacazette is leaving. I think that's obvious. It's on the cards whether it's going to be January. We probably will be the summertime. He's not figuring anymore. Eddie and Martinelli are the options. I'd run Pepe up the middle. We need goals. This is a situation, Matt, I've been talking about on Thursday night, and we're going to touch on tomorrow as well and what's going on. But we're not able. Lacazette and Pepe, the second and third highest goal scorer. One and certainly two out of the top three last season. Lacazette and Pepe haven't been in the side. We're starving ourselves of some goals, Matt.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because obviously, I think Arteta wants to give Aubameyang that chance, and he obviously backs him as a player. Obviously, in training, he's probably banging them in left, right, and centre, and wants him desperately to kind of get back on form, because when he is on form, he's incredible, and he'll be bagging his goals left, right, and centre. But it's just not happening. So at some point, he's going to have to rely on other players like your Pepes. If we had something else happen, 1-1.
1-1, and Dembele has equalised up there at St James's.
I think I'm about 30 seconds behind you, Ray. So I'm probably going to see it go in a moment. But
long ball from the back comes to.
I've just seen the long ball come through. Yeah, so I'm just watching it now.
A nice finish.
Oh, here we go.
Nice finish.
It's a good finish. Yeah, keeper maybe can do better with that. Seemed rooted to the spot, didn't he? Yeah. I don't know how much of he saw.
He was shielded by the defender.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'm not sure how much he saw.
So, yeah, 1-1 up there, and we want some points off Tottenham today, and like points taken away from Tottenham.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not 3 points. We'll take 1 point. That'll help our cause, But go ahead, Matt.
No, I was just saying that I think with Pepe and Lacazette, you have to give other people a chance. Even Martinelli up the centre. Aubameyang's clearly not consistently knocking in goals, so we have to be able to look for other players to do that for us. So yeah, I'd go with that. I think. Was it BX Gunner 81 who's saying about a Pepe up the middle? I'd say why not? Give it a go. Give it a chance. I think he's had a couple of chances, hasn't he, to do that, and did quite well, didn't he? I'm sure he's had a couple of games up the middle.
Yeah, especially last season in the Europa League, and Matt here. I'm going to go to Matt and Matt here about this as well. We talked with Gary and the boys on Thursday night about what we're going to do tomorrow because we have a Monday and we have a Friday. We got two big games coming up in the Premier League. What would you do, Matt here? And Gary sort of convinced me a little bit in terms of putting out a kind of what you would say weaker side for tomorrow night because there is 4 days apart. Or would you do what I've been calling for is pick a consistent lineup, and you can play the same lineup pretty much in both games. It's a tricky one, and it's going to be very important what Arteta does. Not only what he does, but the results we get from those two games, Mahir.
Yeah, the results are going to be very, very, very important. Even if there is no performance, let's see. I would say a combination. No, not even a combination. I would go with option B. A consistent with a little bit of tinkering.
Okay.
So
pretty much
maybe
the same side outside of one or two changes from Monday to Friday.
Yeah, like for example, I would try and give the whole physicality thing a good run, which would mean Laka coming in through the middle and Pepe on the right hand side and Martinelli on the left hand side because you don't want to burn. Matt, the important thing is you don't want to burn your players out in a company. You don't want to burn your employers out because when your employees are burnt out, less productivity, less orders going out, money is slowly less money is being made. So Arteta needs to use this thing that he has between. I don't know how big it is, but he needs to do something.
There's lots of ways to think about this, Dan, as well. Why can't the player play 2 games a week? We used to play every day during the summer holidays from dawn till dusk.
I don't know how intense his games at school were, but I certainly wasn't playing 90 minutes of Premier League level. He must have been good at school.
Yeah, but as professional footballers as well, they can take 2 games in within 5 days. You're going to say 4 days, but it's really a Monday to Friday, 5 days, right?
Yeah, I think we've got Ford. I think we've got Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, and then obviously we've got the Leeds game in the Cup, haven't we? And I think they're all 4 days apart. And then again, you go to Leicester after that 4 days. So every 4 days you've got a game.
Harry Kane has a goal chalked off for offside.
Oof.
Yeah, every 4 days.
Escape. So for me, I would probably go with a consistent side and maybe tweak when we get to Leeds in the Cup. That's probably where I would make my change. I'd stick with consistency again. Maybe tweak and put Laka up instead of Alba, but pretty much keep it the same. And then maybe when we come to the Cup game, make a few more changes and use that as your rest break. So you've got 2 games and then the rest.
I hate to cut in, but there's a VAR decision. I do think it looks onside to me.
I think it just
it's
off.
The player, the right back at the top of the screen.
It's tight. Yeah, I was just looking in line with him. It's very, very tight. No, yeah, but it's not that player, is it? Like you say, it's the right back.
They've given it to him. Harry Kane. Possibly, rumors could be Harry Kane could be the new darling of the Northeast. That could be the marquee player.
I can't see that happening. I can't see that happening. Maybe in 3 years' time when Newcastle have built up a little bit and got themselves in a better position, but I can't imagine that happening. That would be a shocker, wouldn't it?
Sure, that would absolutely be a shocker. Imagine a side with all the rejects, not like rejects as per se, but players that don't play. Like, so, for example, like a Sterling, Coutinho, Kane. I don't want to say Haaland because
they're miles off that yet.
The goal was given, unfortunately, onside. But Matt, thinking about Harry Kane again, would he not want to look at Newcastle and think, 2 or 3 years, it could be in a good position to win things? in 2 years from now, even they'll be in a better position than Tottenham are right now.
Possibly, but then Harry Kane could go to any club in the world pretty much at this point in his career, I think. So, I mean, if you're talking about the summer, when it comes to summer, I don't think just because he's not had the best of starts this season, he's going to pick up goals this year, and he'll still be a wanted man. So, I think come next summer, I don't think he's going to have to be kind of rummaging around Newcastle. I think he'll be able to pick wherever he wants to go, really. Obviously, the price people pay for him might not be quite as much as it was maybe touted this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't see him making that decision. I think, like I say, if it was 2 or 3 years from now, I think he's spent his career at the moment at clubs waiting for the potential to win trophies. Tottenham, new stadium, investing in, decent managers, etc. Looking at, he was kind of promised at Tottenham that they'd do something and they haven't. So I think if he goes to another club, he's going to want pretty much instantaneous success, isn't he? He's going to want a Real Madrid or somewhere like that where he's actually definitely pretty much going to be guaranteed to win something.
I think money talks, and they'll definitely be able to afford a huge slice of money for him. It's very possible. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting what Newcastle do. I mean, the human rights part of it is despicable and not acceptable. But sporting levels, Mahir, Newcastle are going to be in the top 6 very, very shortly in the next year or two.
You know what? We are jealous. We wish these things would happen. I mean, a long time ago. I mean, still till today, we're like, oh man, we wish. Raging Demon, what up? Steady, everybody in the chats. Love you guys and appreciate you guys so much for joining us.
Nice energy, Mahir. I love it. Go ahead. Newcastle.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's exciting for Newcastle fans. I've got a friend who stays in Newcastle, and he is like, every time I talk to him, he was like, I don't even look forward to watching the football anymore because it's not exciting. And I had a Chelsea supporter this afternoon here by me, and he was like, don't you get up for these games? You guys should win against Crystal Palace. I'm like, as long as Arteta's in charge, something is going to go wrong. Something. A blunder in defense, wrong substitutions, or delayed substitutions, no substitutions. Players not being given a chance yet. Like you said, Matt, we are short in terms of goal-scoring threats. So, like, if you want to take over out of the firing line for something more physical like Laka, you should be able to do these type of things. Tony!
I'm here.
Hey,
What's happening, bro?
Hi, Tony. Welcome.
Yep.
Good to see you.
Tony, 2-1 up at Newcastle. Harry Kane, rightly judged to be onside. Hate to say it, but and the new regime up there are looking at their phones and not looking at the game. The new owners. So, yeah,
they can't get instant results without buying players.
Yeah, but they're going to do something in Newcastle as well. So, Tony, how are you doing? What did you think of the weekend's results? Highs and lows for you?
I really didn't pay much attention to the games yesterday. Glad I picked up points. Now I'm in the lead again.
Yes, you did. Man United in a spot above in it, lads. So, yeah.
In it, lads.
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw the Liverpool result. It was great for my fantasy Premier League. Obviously, Salah again smashing it. So what was it?
Was Salah your captain?
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, was Salah your captain?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yo, that's 26.
Yeah.
26.
I've got
he was my vice. I forgot to put him as captain. I put him as vice captain. And I was like, oh no, I fell right down. I think I'm 10 out of 14 in my group. I was like, bloody hell, man.
Well, I was about 22 out of 24, and I've managed to clamber myself up to about 18th now after the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I've got Salah to thank for that, I think. So I'm steadily climbing up the table.
I need Newcastle to win because I've got Saint Max. I think I've just got Saint Maximum, but I need him to maybe assist or do something. What did you guys say the Everton West Ham score was?
West Ham 1, Everton 0. And that's a very decent result for West Ham.
Yeah.
I
Can you
think
tell me who scored?
Agbana,
Okay, everyone.
defender. Yeah. One of those games where you stand up, you weather the storm, and you grind out a result. Very much like Chelsea away to Brentford, Matt. They go and get ahead of goal. West Ham are probably a shade better than Everton when all's said and done.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think the Premier League. I think we've been saying for probably the last 3 or 4 years. It's so much more competitive around those, say, top 8 teams now. The margins are actually quite small, so it's very, very competitive, which is great for football, but it just makes it very, very tough for teams like us who aren't in our former glory years at the moment, trying to get back up into those kind of top 4, top 6 spots, because you can't guarantee wins against these teams anymore. It's no longer an it's not that easy,
Yeah, not that easy, definitely. Mahir, tomorrow, Patrick Vieira, a former legend, will be coming back to the Emirates. He should get a very, very warm welcome up until the whistle blows and the game starts.
Absolutely. I just wanted to mention one thing. You guys saw the thing about Ben White saying he doesn't watch football.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and he doesn't. Oh, Vieira's a decent footballer. My bro, you need a club. You need a Moorse club from me, and then you need to go back to Brighton or wherever the hell you came from, because I'm telling you, he's gonna be a flop. You don't. The modern football of today, Tony. I can't believe. What? Who doesn't know Vieira? He said because oh no, I was 7. I didn't follow football. I don't watch football aside from analytics for myself. Who says he's stupid?
It blows my mind a little bit, because you think, well, if you're a professional athlete and that's your job and that's what you do every day, surely you live and breathe it. For you to be passionate enough to carve out a career, to train as hard as you have, to commit as hard as you have, for as long as you have, to make it into, the kind of position he is now as a player, surely you would be living, eating, sleeping, breathing football. I guess, these players, you do need a break and you need hobbies and things away from football. I get that, but you would think that watching football would be an absolute pleasure for them. They'd want to. It's a very strange concept for me.
I'd especially want to be known okay, as I'm being given the number, as I'm signing on for the Arsenal, being given a number. Who's played in the shirt before me? And then you know what? Talking about eating, sleeping, and breathing football. I want to find out how I can become a legend like whoever's worn the shirt.
Yeah.
And plenty of legends have worn all different numbers. I mean, you could say Vieira was one of the greatest midfielders in Premier League.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Absolutely.
And for you to say something like, I don't watch football ever since 7, I just watch certain games for my analytics. You're never going to improve. And with your weak mentality, you are bound to flop. That's why I never rated this. I was like, they wasted 50 mil. They could have given that chance to Saliba, who's looking like a Rolls Royce.
The comment below May is quite interesting, though, if that's true. I don't really know much about him other than that. So,
yeah.
But still,
this is a good topic now, Mahir, you brought up. We're going to spend a few more minutes on this one, and obviously Tony's going to get into it. I'm only going to get into it as well. We're all going to have our say. I completely agree with you, Mahir. Let's take it 2 ways. You work, it's your job, it's your profession. So you want to switch off you want to switch off when you're finished. When you're finished, okay, you don't watch football. But the other side of it is you have a profession. You must know things about your profession. You have an employer. You must know things about your employer. And your employer is Arsenal Football Club. You must know the history and tradition of the club. And yes, there's a relevance in terms of the number 4, and Patrick Vieira coming back. That's why he was asked the question. I have an issue with Arsenal fans saying, leave it alone. It's not really a topic. It's something to discuss. It's not a big topic. But to not know the history of your employer, the history of the club that you're coming to, it's a bad look for me.
It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. I mean, surely we are Arsenal supporters, right? We've been supporting the club for however long, and we've got our favorite players, and we go and keep watching videos over and over and over of all legends of all sorts. You can go back to the 80s, you can go back to the 90s, you can go early 2000s. Even as early as the 2000s. Surely you can't be like, I wonder who's Samir Nasri, who's this Fabregas? They look like decent footballers, yeah. They look like decent footballers. Fabregas, Henry, Vieira, they're all decent, they're all right. I don't know much about them.
I'm going to bring Tony into this at this point in time. BX Gunner said, that told me a lot about this modern game. Honestly, look at old Benjamin, slightly different.
Yeah, his name is Benjamin. You want you to call him Benjamin.
That's what you want to call him as well. And Tony, I'm going to hold you to account because you want me to call Lakanga Sambi. So
that's what he wants to be called. So
you're going to call him Benjamin White from now on, Tony. Benjamin Button, right? So you have to watch the film. BX Gunner said, I've watched the film. He was asked the question, and he didn't know who Vieira was. He didn't watch football back then. What do you think about this, Tony? As BX Gunner said, it is the modern game now. These players seem to be disconnected from their clubs that they're playing for.
Like I've said a million times before, most of these guys just care about the money and they don't care about the club. They're just a handful of the players that you could say, hey, they play for a badge. I think it's about probably 50-50 mix now. Should be a lot higher than that. But for me, he just joined the club 4 months ago. I don't have too much of a problem of him not watching the past games, but he should at least know who Vieira is. He walks past him every time he goes into a stadium. So,
yeah.
If he wasn't watching the game back then, he doesn't have to say it. He just could say, yeah, he was great for the club and move on. It's not that difficult.
And Matt, I think we see the difference between Ramsdale and Benjamin White now. In terms of, I think Ramsdale is more comfortable being interviewed. Ramsdale, made a slight joke about David Seaman, but it came off a lot better than Benjamin's comment about Patrick Vieira.
Yeah. So I saw that. I think Ramsdale's just got that kind of personality, though, hasn't he? He's very outgoing. He's happy to be in front of a camera, happy to talk to people. He's got a bit of cheeky banter. Yeah, he wants to play for it. That clearly comes across. He's one of those players that just doesn't mind being spoken to, speaking to people, being in front of the camera, and having a bit of cheeky banter. And I think he's more invested as a player. I think that comes across to me. He wanted, like Mahir says, he wanted to play for this club. Right from the get-go, he was very much, I want to be number one. He seems to be wanting to get involved with the club and its history and everything like that. We'll call him Benjamin White. I'm
going to call him Benjamin Button.
Yeah, you get the sense that maybe it's a bit harsh to call him a passenger, but he's not the same kind of outgoing, gregarious kind of personality. He will professionally do. I get the impression he'll be a professional. He'll do his job and he'll do it to a high standard. But he's maybe not the type that would be happy to sit in front of a camera, do interviews. Come across as massively invested. He's just there, do his job, get it done professionally, and that's where his line's drawn.
Go home.
Yeah.
But that's kind of terrible. You should be able to. The funny thing is how we were. I mean, even till now, I'm like just waiting to see how the Ramsdale deal is going to go through. Like, is he going to become a success? But he's growing on a lot of us because the passion, the shouting, like when he makes a save, he's like, "Yo, get up, guys, defend me, be in front of me, be solid. I want to depend on you guys. I love being here. Let's keep this. Let's try and get back to where we once were."
Yeah, and
Like-
I know, Matt. You've done some great videos, so people check out Matt's channel over there. Just shout out yourself there, Matt. AFC Red Room.
Yeah, it's AFC Red Room, both on Twitter and on YouTube. Been on Twitter a little while, but YouTube fairly new, so building up my content. But if you're feeling kind enough and you've got a bit of time, go and check me out. Like
Go over
AFC
there,
Red Room.
hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. It's free content, and people don't realize the amount of effort that people put into channels as well. You can do hours and hours of work on a channel, or you can do a certain amount of hours in channel, but still we all balance this with our daily lives, and we all do this for free. So definitely support Matt over there. Gundam News as well. He's doing his thing periodically, I will say.
No. I haven't been doing my thing for a long time now. This is the whole Arteta situation. But please go, guys. Go and support my guy up here.
Yeah.
Go and support his channel.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the love.
I remember that, Matt, because you had a great video about the bromance between Ramsdale and Tomiyasu, and you shipped their name. You were the one who shipped their name.
It was Ramiyasu. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. Long may it continue.
So
yes, sir.
Getting back to Riddy's point, I think he's got a great point here. Tony, I'll go to you. Let's not be too harsh on White, because everyone is different. We're assembling a squad of different players that are going to mesh together. And as Matt has said, you can have a different type of personality, but you can do your job professionally. Yeah, we'd like you to know a little bit about the club. It would be nice that you don't just. I would like him maybe just to lie a little bit in that situation. Maybe like, yeah, he's a great player. Say all the things that professional players should do. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal, but we would like to see that, right, Tony?
Yeah, like I said, he should have at least been able to see Riera's pictures and all that going into a stadium. Should know enough about him to say, yeah, he's a great player.
And
But other than that, it's really not a big deal to me. If he's kind of a laid-back character, doesn't watch football, it's fine with me. I might hear we pay too much money for him. I don't understand why we did it when we had that good of a defense to begin with. Then we gave up 9 goals in our first 3 games. Changed goalkeepers.
Start as long as he does a job on the field. We'll call you Benjamin White.
I'm not calling him Benjamin Button White.
I'm only gonna call him. What is he wants to be called Benjamin. I'm only gonna call him Benjamin when he proves to us that his whole move here is gonna be a success. That means no talking off the pitch. Talk on the pitch. Yeah. Show us your actions. Yeah. Because I'm telling you guys now, I have a feeling this is going to be a flop. A flop of 50 mil.
Okay. Well, when you buy a player...
That's just in my own opinion.
Yeah, Matt, when you buy a player for 50 million, the expectation is there from a lot of the fans. Whether it's a good buy or a bad buy, as time will show.
I think it's a bit hard. I mean, I think personally, I probably disagree with you, Maher. I think he's going to be a good player for us. I think he's one of those players. I don't think we saw a lot of him early doors because I don't think he was available. I think since he's come back, for example, in that Brighton game, he was pretty decent, I thought. Yeah, it's just different personalities, isn't it? I think to me, it's more naivety, because I think if you go for a job interview, for example, you may have, you've worked at a previous company, you know all about that because you've been working there for 5-10 years. He's like, i.e. Brighton. You move on to a new employee, go for an interview, you do your research, you look up the company website, you look at the club's history or the company's history, so you know a little bit about it before you go. And I think it just comes across as a little bit naive, maybe more than anything, that he's not bothered to do that, or someone around him hasn't been able to kind of say, look, this is the club's history. These are some of the key players. This is the club that you're moving to.
Matt, would you like to see the club instruct the players more in what they want to say, or would you like to? Is it more refreshing that they're actually being honest about how they feel about the club?
Yeah, I like the honesty. I wouldn't want them to be media robots because it gets very, very boring, and
Boring.
then you wouldn't get the likes of the Ramsdales and things like that, and that would really spoil things. So I'm all for honesty. I'm all for people having a bit of personality, but I think it's probably choosing the right people to go in front of the camera and do interviews. So I think it's maybe who you select, more than anything.
Yep, definitely. BX Gunner said exactly. You come to the Arsenal, not another bottom side. And you can't be bothered to know what that badge means. Come on, this child probably doesn't even know who the Invincibles are. We are building new Arsenal DNA. We need players that are 100% committed. He may be committed as well. BX Gunner is just that. He needs a little bit of help in the media, maybe a little bit. And I'm sure, without being able to name names, Matt, I'm sure that we had some players on our Invincible side that were didn't want to talk to the cameras, didn't want to talk to the media, and were a little bit shy in terms of how they wanted to express things.
But they showed the actions on the field, though, right?
Sorry, guys. I think why is the game stopped? I've just seen. A
Yeah,
comment.
I know. I was going to ask.
Stopped. I just wondering what happened there.
I'll bring Stanley in here. Stan's here. Hey,
Good
Stan.
morning.
Hello, Stan. How you doing?
Good morning. Morning, bro.
How are you?
Very
Do you
well.
know why, Stan? Do you know why there's a stoppage in the game? We've been sort of engrossed in this.
I literally just switched on as I joined, and it was all very solemn.
It
The
looks solemn.
commentating, everyone's standing around, the commentators going, "Well, everybody's very much focused on what's going on here." It all sounds very solemn. I don't want to sort of like tempt fate. It's almost like fucking someone's died or something. I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, a little bit like Ericsson in the summer, and thank God Ericsson's okay.
Riddy Sarkar in the comments just said, looks like someone had a cardiac problem in the stands. So I don't know whether it's actually on the pitch or whether it's in the stands, but
please
God. Sure.
Please God, everything's okay.
Yeah,
please
I hope
God.
everything's okay.
So, shout out to my cousin here. He will be switching over from being a Manchester City fan to now being a Newcastle United fan very shortly. Sorry, Zach. But I wonder if he'll
maybe everybody's just like gobsmacked that it's almost half time and Tottenham are leading, and everyone's just like,
What's going on?
You're completely
Stan, we were not tearing Benjamin White a new one, but we were sort of having a discussion about what he said during the week in terms of not knowing who Patrick Vieira was in his number 4 similar shirt. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, when was Ben White born? I think he was in nappies when Vieira was playing for us. So
yeah,
I mean, and he obviously doesn't go onto YouTube and watch vids or anything like that.
Apparently not.
And again, I mean, there was another comment. He said that he doesn't really watch football when he's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get that. I mean, if you work in a bank, you don't fucking spend your Saturday sat at home counting your money, do you?
Well, not every Saturday, but
he sees enough football, doesn't he? He plays the fucking thing. I don't think it's a big deal. I'm just more, as long as he lives up to the value of his price tag, I don't give a fuck what he does. He wants to be called Ben. He wants to be called Ben, Benjamin, or Susan for all I care. I don't, whatever.
That only says how far we've fallen since 2006. That current players don't even know.
I'll call him Benjamin Button.
This is a situation maybe of the club's own doing and the degradation of our playing staff, that we haven't had that continuing history. I feel like since the days of Tony Adams pinning Lee Dixon up against the wall and telling him what it meant to them for him to play well in North London Derby, that has not been passed on, let's say, generation to generation. And we've sort of the playing staff has kind of lost what it is to play for Arsenal in each year, going on and on and on. That's my thoughts on it. What do you guys think?
Well, when a new player comes to the club, I mean, we've got a museum. Well, at Highbury, we had a museum, right? I think there's one at the Emirates.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
First thing you do is send them around the museum, and when they go home for their first day, send them home with a bundle of DVDs of shit. I don't know. and tell them there'll be a test on it tomorrow.
Exactly, a big quiz, yeah.
So Zach is bantering here. In a few years' time, we will see Arsenal in the Championship. I'll be kind to him in the chats. He's my nephew. He's young. He'll learn. Premier League has tweeted about the stop. So, yeah, we do hope the person who has had cardiac arrest is going to be okay. Current captain, Oba. Our own captain doesn't even command the field, let alone the dressing room. Yeah. And sometimes doesn't take the duties of medical issue in the crowd, apparently. Okay, so while we're stopped, it's 2-1 to Spurs, and we'll see what happens. I don't know how long this game is going to be stopped for. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
It's half time now, right?
Well, I think it was just short of halftime. It was 40 minutes.
Half time now.
Well, they stopped the game at 40 minutes. Right? I don't think they continued it.
15 minutes.
You know, medical issue in the crowd, apparently. Okay, let's. Should we go through the Premier League? Well, let's start at the bottom. We're going to talk about each team individually. Start at the bottom. I feel confident without looking at the table that Norwich are bottom of the table. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, yeah, that's right. On 2 points.
So, Matt, start us off. A quick word about Norwich and how you see their season going. We'll work from the bottom up.
I can't. To be honest, that bottom three, as it is now, I'm not sure that's really going to change too much. To be honest,
Newcastle might get out of there, right?
I think over the course of the season they'll probably have enough about them, maybe to kind of not make huge strides, but maybe go to safety. But I think Burnley and Norwich, I could see staying pretty much where they are. Norwich, I think, are going to really struggle. I can see them going down.
Matt, here, let me know if you're there. Tony, Norwich, they're going to struggle again. They're that yo-yo club, right?
Yeah, they always seem to do that. They come up, go straight back down. No difference this time.
2 draws, 6 losses. 2 points only, Stan.
Yeah, I think Norwich and Richmond AFC are probably going to go back down. I don't think Ted's going to be able to cut it in the Premier League.
So who's Richmond? Is that Burnley?
No,
Ted Lasso.
That Ted Lasso thing, isn't it?
I got to catch up with that. I'm hearing good things about it.
Well, for me, I don't know who else is watching it. I really enjoyed the first season, but I actually felt that it would have been better if it was like a one and done, one season, because the second season, for me, it's hardly about the football now. It's turned into like a bit of a soap opera.
Yeah, it's a soap opera.
And even some of the characters that I liked in the first season, they're now becoming quite one note and repetitive, and I can almost write their lines for them. If you know what I mean.
It'll probably be more about the football since the Premier League's now to license them.
Well, the next season is the last season of it. They're not doing any more after the third season.
So the characters have become more of a memes or same old.
Yeah, it's like Ted going to a psychiatrist all the time and just
that bird, not the owner, Rebecca, the other bird who goes out with with Roy. She's so fucking annoying now. I can't stand that fucking bird. Like, her acting is just all of the same now. You know.
Game suspended. I would imagine they would have to continue the game when it comes back, and if in a week, 2 weeks, who knows when they're going to reschedule it. So we'll probably have to continue with the scoreline as is at the 40th minute, something like that. So game suspended right now. I don't know what temporarily they don't. The league table probably doesn't get it updated. We'll see what happens. So, but
these people taking over Newcastle must be so powerful that when they get a bad result, they can just halt games. Fucking hell.
Yeah, there could be a lot of this conversation could go in a lot of different ways. Yes.
I'm going to see what they're talking about. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. So we already talked about Norwich. Maher, are you back? 1, 2, 3. Nope. Will Newcastle United, the team that we're watching right now, Matt, they're not going to be second from bottom for very long.
No, they're struggling at the moment. I think, like I say, they might climb the table a bit to safety. They're not going to make huge, great strides, I don't think, this season. I mean, there's a lot of clubs around kind of their level, so they are going to be fighting it out, I think, bottom half. But I think for them, they've just got to kind of get to a place of safety, and then obviously wait for their owners to inject huge sums of money and go and buy the rest of the league and mop up and buy a lot of players next season ready to go. But it'd be interesting who they go for. I don't think their owners are going to be expecting much this season because they know what they're buying.
Stan, you said it could be the owners who have a lot. You said it could be the owners who have a lot of power, but
no, basically what they're saying is they've taken the person from the crowd out, and I think the game is going to be resumed today.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So they're just tending to that. I don't think they're sending everybody home. They're going to resume it at another date. It sounds like it's going to be resumed just as, when they get this person. But it sounds like what you said, it was somebody in the crowd had a bit of a bad time.
Yeah. What does this mean for Steve Bruce, Stan? He's going to be given a crack at the whip a little bit. He's going to be allowed to take the team probably to the end of the season.
Why shouldn't he?
Is he a dead man walking, Steve Bruce, or should he be given the benefit? Should he be given the benefit of the doubt at Newcastle?
Why shouldn't he be given to the end of the season?
I agree with you.
I mean, I look at it this way: as they start improving the team and start giving him as the manager more tools to use, that's when you start to judge him, right? If he's being given better tools to use and he can't get results, or he's not able to find the players and make suggestions for the players that they should be getting, then you have to look at bringing someone else in. I don't think he's so entrenched with the previous regime that it's like, well, we just got to get rid of him because he's connected to Mike Ashley. He's a local man. He knows the area. He knows football. And things at Newcastle, no matter how much money they've got, it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, if you remember when Man City, when they got taken over, it took them a while, right? Do you remember all that Robinho stuff? I mean, they brought in Robinho and that didn't work out. So
they pulled off the big transfer, but it was very much for publicity. They wanted it to work as well on the field, but they were allowed to make some mistakes, and I think
Steve Bruce should be given an opportunity. It's his job to lose or keep, really.
I think that's only fair. And this I think would have been his 1,000th game, Tony. Yeah, it will be his 1,000th game when they do get it finished.
Wasn't his last game his 1,000th game? I thought it was the last one they played.
Maybe.
You don't get to that number of games though, do you, without being a decent manager and deserving of a chance, do you? So I completely agree with Stan. I think give him an opportunity. I think, like BX Gunner says, in January, if they can then go and provide some reinforcements, give him some more tools, as Stan says, see how they go about. And if obviously he can start, getting results with some additional players in there to strengthen the squad, then he deserves to be there. If not, then obviously it's fair enough to question it, isn't it?
The only worry is if you've got a couple of managers, good ones, who are kind of like not employed at the moment, like your Contes and your Allegris, is the worry that
the wings
you stay with a Bruce and then you miss it. They end up somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? So I suppose there's a little bit of timing involved. You could say a little bit like at Arsenal, right? Towards the end of Wenger's tenure, the rumours are that we missed out on Klopp and we missed out on Pep, who were both at around that time available and sort of showed an interest in Arsenal. And who wouldn't? Arsenal's a prestigious club. But it's timing, isn't it? It's just about timing, I suppose.
Speaking of timing, I'm gonna answer the question first, but I'm gonna ask all of you: what year do you think they will win the league, Newcastle? I'm gonna go 2025. I'm gonna give them 4 years, 3.5 years. Matt,
4 years. Yeah, it's going to be around 2025. I would have thought if they are going to do it. I'm going to go 26. It's going to be kind of that 4, 5, 6 year period, isn't it? I think it's certainly not going to be within the next 2. I don't think so. Yeah, I'll go 2026.
Just for shits and giggles, Maher, what year will Newcastle win the league again?
Oh, Newcastle. I thought you were talking about us. I was like, whoa, hey.
I think we'll be fighting. The two of us will be 1 and 2 for the next 5 years.
If you're talking about us, we'll all be dead and gone by the time that happens.
No. I make a lot of prayer that my bros and their families are alive for a long time. Hopefully we're all old. I'll be a little bit younger, but I'll still be an old man. Like,
He's
do you remember?
going to be one of the younger ones on this podcast.
Do you
Yeah.
remember the time we slaughtered Ben White? I told you.
I'll be fully grey by then.
Yo, fam. Good times, eh?
2027.
By the time that happens, our next crop of Arsenal players probably won't know who Ben White was. A bit like Ben White doesn't know who Vieira was.
Yeah.
Remember that Ben White 50 million? Just got back online. Phone was messing around. Good to see you, Ranger Demons. Stay with us. Maher, what year will Newcastle win the league?
3 years time from now is 2024. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. It's 2.5 years, maybe, right? 2024.
Like it just
Not-
depends
Not
how.
the next 20, 25 years, says Rudy. We'll make a balls of it.
We just have to be anxious we're all anxious to see what's gonna happen with this Newcastle takeover. Like, are they gonna splurge? Are they gonna be realistic for now and then build maybe 2 windows from now, like superstars? What exactly are they gonna do?
I was listening to something last week, and they were saying that the top of their list for a manager is Brendan Rodgers. But to get Brendan Rodgers from Leicester, it would cost them about 60 million, which was then followed up by, which wouldn't be a problem.
So what?
Which wouldn't be a problem.
BF, what is it? BFD, right? Yeah, that's the kind of thing. Okay, Tony, what year will Newcastle win the league?
23-24.
Whoa, okay. They're going to be BDSs. They're going to move quick.
What do you think they're going to do with all that money? Set on it?
Yeah, they're going to spend, but it will obviously take. Not every acquisition will work for them. It won't fit their style of play. So there's going to be some hiccups along the line. Now, that means they'll be in the top 6, and we can still have hiccups. But yeah,
the players are coming back out. The players are coming back out onto the pitch.
Yeah, warming up.
Yeah,
I see that.
Just doing some warm-up drills, yeah.
So Stan, you have a little bit of a hereditary link to Newcastle United.
Very much so.
And,
very much so. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal supporter, but I do have links to Newcastle, so I've been watching this all unfold. And if I was the people going in with the money and putting in the manager and everything, I'd be looking at saying, okay, I expect us to be winning the league within 5 years. But I would be saying to the manager at the time, if you can do it in 3, there's a huge bonus. But publicly, I'll say 5. Publicly, I'll say 5. But in-house, let's try and get it in 3, boys. Let's try and do something in 3. Let's win a trophy within 3 years.
Huge.
You heard rumors about Newcastle looking to bring in Wenger.
I mean, that would be very interesting.
Really?
If that happened. That would be, yeah.
I
wonder if do you think he'd take it? Do you think
Yeah.
if he'd
It
take
would
it?
be interesting if he would come back and be. I don't think he would. I don't think he would go up
Yeah, I'm
against
not so
Arsenal.
sure.
I don't think he would want to go up against Arsenal. Darren, great to see you. Back to the channel.
Darren?
Love it.
Yes, sir.
Maher, do you think Arsene Wenger would come back to the Premier League and compete against Arsenal?
No, I personally don't think he'd have it in his heart to compete against the club. I mean, that he's been so great for one of the greatest managers in the Premier League era, especially the way he came in also based on, I saw they were showing like a clip or something where even Ferguson, as big of a legend, biggest legend that he is, Sir Alex Ferguson was like who is this guy? He's coming from Japan. Probably going to flop. It's rubbish, man. And the way the professor turned that around, hey.
It's a big risk,
do I personally think Wenger would become? I don't think he have it in his heart. Although it would be a chance for him to be given a whole lot of money and possibly build the squad. He would have loved to build Arsenal,
I don't think he cares that too much about that, though. I think it's a massive risk for any manager with his kind of history and the length of time he's been managing Arsenal to come back to the Premiership and manage another club in those circumstances. You've got a real, not to tarnish it, because obviously the legacy that he built at Arsenal will always be, and I will always be grateful for that. But sometimes you have to almost box things off and say, no, that's that, and I'm not going to risk anything that
my
could
legacy
tarnish that. Yeah, and you want to remember him being the Arsenal manager, not being the Arsenal manager and then coming back and managing Newcastle, because in your head that kind of changes things a little bit for me. I don't know why, but it's I want that to be remembered as the Arsenal manager, and that's it. If he manages abroad, fair enough. I think it's a big risk for him personally as well to come back and do that.
Yeah, if it was any other manager, you would think, he'd come and take the money and play with it. But Arsene Wenger was always a different bird, a little bit in that respect.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like he's coming back to manage Tottenham, right? That it's not as if he's doing something controversial. Newcastle are fucking how many miles up the road? If he's going to manage, why would he not want to come back to the Premier League, which is deemed one of the best leagues in the world? And he's now going to be, he would be working for the richest people in football, which has got to be enticing. I just think that, has he been out of the loop too long when it comes to putting together a team around him, his backroom team, and, being able to look for players?
Just get Steve Bold back, right?
Newcastle into Arsenal 2.0. Bring Mesut Ozil back from Turkey.
Let's remember Arsene Wenger said many, many times, he said, listen, I had the opportunity to go to Real Madrid. I had the opportunity several times to go to different places. And he never, I'm not making an argument for or against here. It's both ways, actually, because
that's while he was under contract, right? While he was still employed, and he's quite loyal like that. He's got part of him. He can do what he wants now, really. And you look at managers like look at Rafa Benitez. He ain't shy about coming back to the Premier League and going with different clubs. I mean, George Graham went to Tottenham.
It would definitely. I don't know. It would depend on which way Arsene Wenger would be thinking about it. His love for Arsenal, and Tottenham had just scored a third goal. Looks like maybe Harry Kane, but I'm not sure. Listen, Arsene Wenger could feel like he wants to go and prove himself with a nice kitty of cash to go and do it. Or he could feel he doesn't want to step on Arsenal's toes because he loves the club so much. I feel he would do the latter, that he would not come back to the Premier League, but I would not be surprised. Tony, I didn't get your point on this one, your point of view. Wenger coming back, Tony?
I think he's getting too old to really give it the effort that he'd want to do it, so I don't think he'll come back.
Any other points in Newcastle? We're going to go through the Premier League as a whole. And it looks like it was Son that scored. So, any other points in Newcastle as they grow? I mean, obviously, it's not going to be the last time we're going to talk about Newcastle now. They're going to.
I got one last point against Newcastle.
Hold on.
I didn't see the goal. Was it a good one?
Oh, I've just seen it's okay.
Son.
Yeah, Lucas put a good ball through to Kane. Kane slotted across the box to Son, and Son kind of slid in from close range. Fairly poor defending, but a well-worked goal.
Yeah, very well worked. I don't like that kit, do you? That away kit.
Come on, Jordan. Come on, Jordan.
It's a bit Cadbury's, isn't it? I'm not.
Yeah,
it
is.
It's like a team of 11 whispers.
Mahir, what did you have? You had an extra point, Mahir.
Oh no, my point about Newcastle was just come on, Geordies, come on, beat them.
Three
Hello,
one
hello.
down.
From
Hopefully,
T1.
you're going to be stung into going forward, and the murmurs would be obviously Steve Bruce needs to be given time, even though he's been there. He needs time in this new environment under new ownership and to prove himself. And as Stan said, give him a run of games and give him to the end of the season.
I don't think he'll be given it until the end of the season. They'll track down whoever they want and get him in before then.
Yep. Yeah, and there's always going to be managers waiting in the wings. Matt, let's go to Burnley next, third from bottom. What do you think Burnley's going to do? They stuck in against Manchester City yesterday, but ultimately it was the Etihad and it was a 2-0 defeat.
I'm just looking at the games they've played so far. So I'm just trying to see kind of who they've actually. Yeah, so they've had City, lost 2-0 to City, drew with Norwich, lost to us, drew with Leicester. I think they're a pretty resolute team, Burnley. They haven't done too badly in some of the more recent seasons, but it doesn't look like they're going to do anything big this season. I think they're going to struggle. I think they will be down in that kind of bottom 4 or 5 clubs.
Yeah.
I can't see anything of them this season that would tell me otherwise at the moment.
Traditionally, they're that side that maybe come Easter, they put a few results together around Easter time and pull themselves away. Tony, what do you think about Burnley? 3 draws and 5 defeats in 8 games. And after 8 games, I think you can start to say maybe what you are as a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'll have a hard fight getting out of a relegation zone. I think Newcastle signed quite a bit of players in the winter. For winter transfer, you don't think that's going to be busy, but I think it's going to be exceptionally busy with 10 months going until the World Cup with players wanting game time.
Yeah. You and I have gone back and forth on this one. You think the January transfer window will be more unique because it's 10 months before the World Cup, and players will want to either get into their international setups or, maintain their places in their international setups.
Because 3 months isn't going to be enough time to prove their point next season.
You've come with some good stuff over the years. 3-4-3 under Arteta was a good shout, and it happened. So I will not discount what you're saying. We'll see what happens.
That being our leading scorer last year, I'm good of good surprises.
Broken clock and all that, No, you did good. Bert, did I get to you, Matt, on Burnley? You did, right?
Yeah.
Matt here, Burnley. What do you think?
Burnley
season, yeah.
Burnley. Look, to be fair, I don't know too much, being a younger supporter of Arsenal, about some of the smaller, what you would consider the smaller clubs like Burnley and Norwich. So yeah, just to stress that point, what were you saying about were you asking me how would their season go?
Yeah, Burnley just yesterday lost 2-0 to City. It would appear they probably will be in the bottom half of the table comfortably.
Okay, based off some sort of my predictions, I would say give it a little bit of time. I don't think necessarily they're going to drop into relegation and get relegated. I think they may still be in. They still may have a chance by being with us next season.
Okay, this is good. I don't know if Reddy and Stan. We've been talking about Burnley, so we actually have Sean Dyke here with us today.
Right, good morning, fan circle.
How are you, Sean? How are you doing?
Well, not bad at all, really. Can't complain. To be fair, but I heard you were talking about my team, so I just thought I'd come in and say hello.
First of all, really love your name, Irish name. Where did that come about?
Ireland, of course, you idiot.
What do you feel your team can do this season?
Well, as long as we've got VAR on our side, VAR works properly. I don't suggest there'll be any problems for us, to be fair. We might be a hard team, but we play fair, and if we've got VAR on our side, then, things just seem to go our way, to be fair.
I'm trying to make you full screen, but that's not working. Okay. Yeah, anyone else got questions for Sean Dyche? I mean, we don't get a Premier League manager on our channel very often. So, Mahiri, do you have a question for Sean Dyche?
I don't have a question for him. I just want to pick him up for joining us here at Arsenal Fan Circle. Thank you very much, Sean.
Not a problem at all, Mahir. I love being here. It's good to come onto the interwebs and talk to fans like yourself.
Sean, Tony here feels that we were very lucky to get a win against you in the last month. That 1-0 win up at Turf Moor. How did you feel your team?
Hold on. You said he feels lucky. Well, I think the lad should hop it, to be fair.
He felt Arsenal were lucky to get that win.
No, I think he should hop it. I'm not going to accept that from young Tony at all. I don't think he's got a leg to stand on with a comment like that, to be fair.
Tony, do you have a comeback there?
Nope.
We have a comment from Riddy here, one of our regulars. Sean, what's your favorite drink up north?
Oh, you know what? Really good question. I don't mind a bit of Tizer. Tizer's quite nice. I like Tizer.
Tizer at breakfast.
Tizer, nice one. Diesel or petrol, Sean?
Diesel, of course. Bit of diesel, it's not cheaper. Got to watch the old pennies.
Did you have any altercations yesterday with Pep on the sideline?
No, me and Pep are friends. He knows his place. He winds his neck in when I tell him to. He's not a bad lad at all. No, not at all. No, I love Pep a bit.
What about Pep 2.0? Our own Mikel Arteta. Do you have issues with him?
I mean, I think the young man there, top right, said it earlier on when he said if he uses what's in his head, but doesn't know how big it is. So I'd agree with that young man there, top right.
Sean.
Yeah, Mahir brings some good stuff. Some good stuff. Are you? Would you want to manage the England setup, the England international team at some point in time?
Oh, of course.
Do you have ambitions?
Oh, it'd be that would be a very proud appointment, Ray, to manage the national team. I'd love the opportunity, but I think I could probably have a better record than Sam Allardyce did as well. So,
would you take the Newcastle job if you were offered it?
Oh, no, there's a question and a half. I mean, all that money to spend, and I would still probably bring Ashley Barnes with me, though.
Of course. Of course. I mean, you and Ashley Barnes are like George Graham.
2 peas in a pod, me and Barnesy. We're like 2 peas in a pod.
Raging Demon said Sean Dyche is a bad man.
Does he mean that in the youth of today's street kind of lingo where bad means good?
Yeah, I think bad man means good in this.
Okay, then I'll take that.
The street lingo.
Just getting ready for a scrap then.
Yeah, young man up there is dying on top right.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, man.
It's been lovely to chat to you all. I don't know where that fucking slight bastard Stan's gone. I wanted to have a few words.
Yeah, he's going to be.
I know that he often does stupid impressions of me on your show, which I've heard about. Sounds nothing like me, to be fair. But look, you're doing some good work over there on the fan circle. And I'll probably pop back sometime in the season to check in with you all, if that's okay. Anyway,
I love you,
man. Now that we've developed that relationship with you, Sean Dyche, we would definitely love to have you back sometime in the future.
No problem at all, Raymond. No problem at all.
Will he still be employed by then?
Well, that was Sean Dyche. I mean, where Where do we go from there?
Wow.
Just a Premier
Wow, eh?
a Premier League legend, and now we have another Premier League legend dropping by as well. Mr. Sam
Huh?
Greenwood.
Premier
Sam.
League. Hi guys.
How do you follow? How do you follow Sean Dyche?
Wow.
Sean Dyche, what's happening?
Sam survived the Hunger Games.
We just had Sean Dyche on the show here.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that must have been boring.
Yeah.
Sliding doors.
No,
sliding
Quite
doors.
entertaining.
No. Yo, Sam, watch the playback. Oh my God. Guy's a funny guy. What a legend. Woo.
3-1. Sam, it's not going so well for us as Arsenal fans. Tottenham are leading 3-1. Up
Oh,
at the,
Newcastle are crap, aren't
yeah. Even the new Newcastle are crap.
Even the new Newcastle.
They got a lot of money to spend before they win that title.
they? Oh god, they're gonna have to revamp everything, aren't they?
So,
Absolutely everything.
Tony, the timekeeper, we've hit an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour 20 with the lag. We're gonna keep moving here. So, Tony, we'll take Leeds and Watford together. How do you see Leeds and Watford's season going?
I think Leeds will probably start moving up. I think Watford's at drop off a little bit.
You know what? I'm just thinking, this is ridiculous. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room, okay?
Who, Sam? He just turned up.
Yeah, I just got here. I just got here.
Yes.
No, not Sam. Manchester United losing. Manchester United losing at Leicester. We don't want to talk about Watford. We don't want to talk about. We want to get to the good stuff, right?
We want to talk about the wheels falling off of Ollie's bus.
Wheels falling off
Yeah.
Ollie's.
Oh,
Definitely. That bus is uncontrollable now.
Tell me, how does it feel?
We shouldn't keep going through the dead teams here, 16th up to 10th, but let's get to the United one. Sam, you want to start us off?
United. What I think, there's two things I think going on with United. Number one, I think Ronaldo wasn't a good buy for them.
Whoa, controversial.
And I'll tell you why. Because when you buy a superstar, you're gonna change the whole constellation of the whole team.
Yeah.
Both the psychological side of it, the chemistry of the team, and as well the way the team plays. Ronaldo's gonna have to be a part of every attack. He has to be a central part of everything the team does. And that's changing the way the team plays, the chemistry in every way. And I don't think that's helped United. I really don't. I think the way they were playing before they got Ronaldo, they started to look, like they were going in a decent direction. And then getting Ronaldo, I understand perfectly why they got him. I mean, what a fantastic player, right?
Yeah.
I think they could see things going a lot better when using him. But it's just, I was thinking, getting Ronaldo, he's just going to change everything, and in not necessarily in the right direction. And I think that's what's happened with Ronaldo. They're not really sure how to use him right now. And that's down to Solskjaer. Solskjaer's not getting out of him what he should. And that was the other thing I was going to say. Solskjaer's done a very good job at United from where he took over the team until this season. He's definitely done a good job and progressed with them. But now with Ronaldo and Varane and the team, and now there's basically no excuses there now. He's got a team that should be competing for the title.
Yeah.
He's showing that he's not, same as I'm saying what we've got with Arteta, he is showing that he is a good manager, but he's not top level.
Yeah.
He's not that top elite level you need to take them to the top.
Yeah.
And that's what he's showing. That's what we have with Arteta. That's what United have with Solskjaer. And now with the top players like Ronaldo, he can't get the best out of them. He's not getting them, doing what they should be doing.
He doesn't know what to do.
And so that's showing, that he's not really there. He's not really there at the level he should be. And I just think Ronaldo, it's a difficult one with him because yes, you'll probably get a Conte or maybe someone who's going to come in and get Ronaldo, a lot more out of Ronaldo. But this is the whole Galacticos era through the 90s, Real Madrid and everything, when they just went out and bought basically the best players they could. there wasn't always that much chemistry there. They had a few seasons there where they didn't win anything with all the top players, you know, and you know, it's not you're not guaranteed success just because you go and buy Ronaldo. You really aren't. You have to play him in the right way. And I think, like I said, I just think it's put the chemistry off balance, and the way they play, they have to do things differently now because everything has to go through him. You know, it's just I'm not sure Ronaldo for getting the you know, consistent results. I'm not sure that was the best thing. But today, of course, I mean, sorry, yesterday against Leicester, they just didn't play well enough, did they? You know, they were. Yeah. But I think they definitely need to get rid of Solskjaer now because like I've just said, he's not going to take them to the top level. He's not good enough for that.
Yep. As Reddy said here, did I just hear the best and correct pronunciation of Ole's surname? Well, it should be from Sam.
Oh, look at nice Solskjaer. That's his name in Norwegian.
Yeah. Solskjaer.
I want to say this panel is brilliant because you are getting different viewpoints from all of the Arsenal fan base. We're not all going to nod to each other and say, yes, I agree. No, but we're going to disagree on a lot of points. And sometimes I think Gary just disagrees from me just because he likes to. But anyway, Gary's taking a well-deserved day off today. But I want to...
He has podcast fatigue.
From me all the way through to Tony or Sam, you're going to get different viewpoints upon Arsenal. And I definitely agree with Ole. He hasn't proved that he can win yet with various iterations of teams. And you need to win things to be hailed
He
as
still finished third and second.
But what also shout out Matt as well. He's the newest member to the podcast, so I want to welcome him formally as well. And he's going to be with us more on the more regular basis as well on the Sundays. So, but yeah, Matt, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Let's pick up what Sam was saying. Very good stuff from Sam. It does bring its own problems when you bring another superstar into the mix. Now you have a Rashford who's getting to superstar status, but maybe being halted, as Wenger used to say, killing his career by bringing. It brings its own problems, as Sam rightly said, when you bring a player of Ronaldo's caliber into the team.
Yeah, it's an excellent point, and Sam's made some really good points. I think it definitely upsets the balance of a team. I think it can go both ways. You either bring him in and they absolutely smash it, and it raises the level of the team, and everyone wants to play around him and raise their game. Or sometimes other players get complacent. You know, they over-rely on that one player. I think at Juventus, some of the players after he'd left had said they got a little bit complacent in training. They got a little bit complacent in games because they expected him to do it all. I don't think it was the best move either. I think at that stage in Ronaldo's career, I think it was almost like a welcome home party and more done for the history side of things rather than to move forward. So I think it was more of an emotional move rather than a common sense and logical move to make for the club. I think they should have really gone elsewhere, I think, for that player. And he hasn't really had the impact that they would have liked. I think they're kind of in that fourth gear, kind of clunking, trying to get into fifth, but they just can't get into that top gear. And like you say, whether that's down to driver or your gearbox and all the mechanics, who knows? You know, I think they've got players there to do it. I think, like you say, maybe it is the manager, and maybe he's just not the right man. I just wonder, hypothetically, would Arteta do better with that squad of players? You know, if you put Arteta in the manager's seat there, would he do better?
I think he would do better than Ole. I think he's a better coach than Ole. And yes, this is why we have different views here as well. You see the head shakers in the crowd. Stan, where do you stand on? Where do you stand, Stan, on the? And by the way, you missed Sean Dyche.
Where do you stand, Stan?
Where do you stand, Stan? And you missed Sean Dyche. I know you.
Dyche.
Dyche. Oh, that's different. Right?
Sean Dyche. He came here.
Yeah.
Well, you missed it. It's cracking.
A brilliant, cracking interview with Sean Dyche.
Oh my God!
Scroll back later, Stan. You'll see it.
Okay, I'll check that out later. And good morning to you, Sam. How are you?
Good morning, Stan. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Man United, it's a funny one up there. Sentiment FC, isn't it? Bringing back bringing back Cristiano Ronaldo. And if you don't pick him and things don't go his way, he starts moaning, right?
Seems that way, yeah.
He was what was he doing in the other match where I think it was my match where he came off. He was standing on the sidelines next to the manager as if he was like the assistant manager in one of the games that I saw, shouting at players and moving his arms and that. So is Ollie a big enough character to work with a personality like that? You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a big personality in the game. So I think he could kind of overshadow Ollie a little bit. I can imagine, Ollie doing his team talk and then Cristiano gets up and says his bit at the end.
Yeah.
He stands up and goes, yeah, everybody heard what Cristiano said now, so let's go do that, okay?
What he said, yeah.
Do what he said. It's a little bit like Ted Lasso, but like, in Cristiano Ronaldo's Nate. Nate is doing all the fucking tactics and everything. But I mean, you'd think that the players that they have in that team, that they would be able to put better results together. I mean, I saw a clip of one of the goals yesterday, and Harry Maguire was just like, I don't know what Harry Maguire was doing, and let's not forget that they shelled out 80 million for him. They shelled out 18 million pounds.
18 million pounds.
And it kind of gets brushed under the carpet a little bit because he's an England golden boy. But Ben White for 50 million, everybody's scrutinising the lad, straight away. And you see the big difference in the attitude between the way that pundits and observers look at the two teams. But he seems to be, I think maybe Ollie, he seems to be hanging in there. I think he should have gone ages ago. But, he'll probably outlive all of us, like a cockroach in a nuclear blast. He'll be the only one that's around.
Well, the thing with Solskjaer is, right, he has this amazing, well, he has previously had this amazing ability where as soon as a team dips and like loses maybe 2 games in a row and everyone's like, oh, that's it, he's done, he's definitely finished. All of a sudden they win like 5 games in a row, beating like Real Madrid along the way or whatever like that. Or they beat a Chelsea or they beat not Newcastle. They'll beat a Chelsea or they'll beat a Man City or something like that.
Newcastle.
And sorry, I was just looking at the screen. Anyway, so he'll do that. He'll pull off like 5 games in a row and beating like 1 or 2 good teams. Then they'll say, oh, it's okay again. The board are like, okay, the board's like, okay,
over the
whatever.
cracks.
Yeah.
But now, this is like I'm saying, you got to look at the overall picture now. He's got a squad now because there's always these excuses. Oh, we're lacking this, we're lacking that, we don't have this, blah, blah, blah. But now they have what they need. They have the firepower. They have a good defense. They have a more than decent enough midfield. They have the attack they need. They have the star power. They have goal threats everywhere, all over the front line. So now it's up to the manager. The manager has to get that to work. That's his job. And like with Solskjaer, he's done a great job. The progress has been progressing the right way. It's been an upwards trajectory. But now to get to the summit, right? He's got what's it called, that camp level 4 or whatever it is on Everest, where basically you go above there, that's it. You're in the dead zone. You have to get up and down again with a certain amount of time or you die. And that's where they are now at United. At level 4, you want to go above there without oxygen, or you've got to go up there with the right level of oxygen and know what you're doing to win stuff and come back down without dying, right? And that's I don't think Solskjaer's got that in him. I don't think he's got that in him. I think they need to get a top level manager to do that.
So, Tony, to tack on to what Sam's been saying, Stan, before that, Ole's been getting to semi-finals the last few years with Manchester United. Last year, got to the Europa League final, didn't get over the hump, didn't win it. And now Ronaldo's on the scene, and it's going to be, like we said, it's going to be difficult to manage that situation. It may be that they've cut their nose off to spite their face. They stopped Manchester City getting Ronaldo, but the balance may not be right now.
Yeah, the balance seems to be a little bit off. Now they're actually behind Spurs. If you go in the form table, they're in 6th.
Ooh, the form table. All right.
Live table, form table, both.
Yeah.
They're 6th.
Did anyone see? Sorry to interject here, but Did anyone see? There was a few days ago. There was this article. I can't remember who posted it, but there's an article where there's like this, they've used this incredible supercomputer or something. This it's a really good supercomputer, and this supercomputer predicted then the rest of the season. And Brentford fucking got fourth place.
Top 4.
Brentford got Champions League spot.
You know where we were? We were in number 13 on that
13
supercomputer.
Yeah, sorry, 13. Yeah, Arsenal were 13th. Brentford were fourth. I think Chelsea won, didn't they? Wasn't it Chelsea that won?
Yeah, Chelsea, then City, then Liverpool.
Yeah.
Sounds more like they worked that out on a ZX Spectrum than a supercomputer.
Yeah. Brentford in fourth. That's like what?
ZX Spectrum, yo.
Now you're going back. Now you're going back.
Audio cassette.
Yeah.
Matt here, United with their problems. They scored 2 goals yesterday. Leicester and Brendan Rodgers, Vardy score 4 goals. What's the real Leicester? Where are Leicester going to be? Are they inconsistent? Are they going to put a run together?
They're inconsistent like you, jumping all over the table.
Yeah, I'm going where the good stuff is. Nobody wants to talk about Southampton, Watford, Leeds. Let's get to the good stuff. United and Leicester.
You know what? Leicester can be a consistent team, especially with the players that they've brought into the squad and the players that they already have in the squad. It just depends, like I say, on man management. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is like him and Arteta are in the same banter boat, basically, because they don't know what they're doing. Like, they can only get up to a certain level. As Matt said, they went to level 3, and now they realize, oh shit, we're on level 4. If we go I can't do anything. I don't have the proper supplies to get to the peak of the mountain and back down without killing off everybody and having to eat off the remaining. Those analogies really, that's what I love about the chemistry of our podcast. A lot of different analogies. But like I'm saying, these guys don't know what they're doing, man. Like, I wish we could get a manager that knows how to manage, so the players don't get burnt out, so they don't get sold later on because they realize we're not going anywhere. And that's where United are pants and Arsenal are awful to watch. Yeah. Somebody was mentioning to me this morning, he was saying, why aren't you enthused? I'm like, what is there to be excited about? I can't raise my expectations anytime soon as an Arsenal supporter, because until Arteta goes, something's always going to fall apart. Oh, we don't have enough players. Okay, here's the players. Okay, we still don't have enough players. Okay, have another window. And then you're gonna get to a point where you go to a team, beat the Liverpool, beat the City, and then guess what? You lose to Brighton, Aston Villa, Burnley, the Norwiches, the Newcastle. You'll even lose to Newcastle. So you go one big game and you're like, whoa, yes. And then guess what?
Yeah.
The next 3-4 games, off a cliff.
Matt, and I'll go to Stan and the rest of the boys, but Matt here's right, because we've won 3 games, we've lost 3 games, and we've drawn 1. That is the epitome of 50%, right? We're on a knife edge right now, and Arteta needs to push forward. The team needs to push forward to win more games, to tip some of the fan base back in their favor.
It is. I think the beginning of the season, though, I think when you look at that, we didn't have a full squad available. We didn't have everyone there. We had issues with COVID and all that kind of stuff. I think now, post that, I think it was a Norwich game where we kicked on and started to build our wins and start to get points on the table again. We've got a fully fit squad. We've got everyone back. It's now it's the time to show that actually this is what we can do. I think, we have to pick up points against teams like Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. I think it's going to be very difficult. I would expect us to get a win against Crystal Palace. Aston Villa, I think it's going to be a tougher one for us, personally, out of the 2. but we have to pick up these points. You know, it is about we've been banging on about consistency in these podcasts for quite some time now, but this is really now where Arteta has to show that actually the investment in the squad, in the players, in him, the faith that's been shown in him is going to be worth it, because this is what he can do with a fully fit squad. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But I think when it comes to United and things like that, I think actually longer term we're probably in a better position. Short term, not so much. You know, yes, they got the likes of big names like, you know, you got Varane, you got Ronaldo, etc. You know, but then you've got the egos, like Sam says, that comes with it. We haven't got that. We've got a fresh young squad building for the future. We don't have to deal with any of those egos.
Yeah.
You know, Arteta can grow with that team. You know, and we can push on and build a bit of momentum. So I think longer term we're in a better position.
Yeah.
But it's just the here and now. But yeah, these next run of games is going to be really, really important for us.
Yep. Stan really needs to push on now, because I know you and I are maybe on the same, mostly in the same wavelength here. We want to see up until the Watford game, right? The Liverpool game. We've been talking about for a few months now. We've been talking about the end of October, early November.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still on that. I'm still on that timeline, and so far, I'd have to say that after the first few games of the season, when we sort of started looking at this little band of games, and we've always said, you and I, Ray, even before this season, that October, from when Mikel Arteta was appointed, if you take it to the end of this month, you know, that's more than enough time for you to be able to see whether you feel that a manager is someone that you're going to get along with, right? Whether you think he's the right man. But I wanted to have a look at a comment that you just put up a second ago from Raging Demon. He said the Cronkies have killed our enthusiasm for our team. Mm-hmm. And my question is, as a fan, you know, what do you hope for? What is the most that you can hope for from your owner? And that's basically money, right? Money is really the key.
Investment.
Yeah. And I have to say that the Cronkies have put their hands in their pockets. You know?
Second part to that would be putting the right people in place to use that money correctly.
Yeah, but I mean, usually though, the owners of the football club, they need to have recommendations when it comes to having a manager. But again, if you haven't got the right person in place to make those recommendations, then the information that you're going to be getting is going to be slightly suspect. And maybe that's where they've gone wrong. You know, when the Cronkies came in, everything was there, wasn't it? They had a manager that was embedded. They had a coaching team around him. There was a structure. But little by little, all of those pieces have gone. Ivan Gazidis has gone. David Dean went quite earlier on, didn't he? Ages ago. Arsene Wenger's gone, the coaching staff have gone, the assistant manager's gone. And it's those pieces that have come in to replace them that has let us down. You know, the Ralsinieri coming in and having the amount of power that he did, the mismanagement of what was his name, Mislintat. That's where we've kind of fumbled the ball. And we've had the money, but the people that have been put in place, I just think that those funds have been dispersed really, really poorly.
Yeah.
And just going back to the combined 70 million that we spent on Mustafi and Granit Xhaka, for me, you know, there are so many things that you could do. I know it's not Football Manager, but bloody hell, there's so many more you could do, so much more you could do with 70, 75 million that I thought would have improved us. And it hurts when you see, we were just talking about Leicester, and you look at their recruitment and some of the players that they bring in, and you look and you think, we could have done without a player. You know, I look at players like Soundchew in the defence, and Didi.
Patson Daka.
Yeah.
There's players there like Tielemans. There's players that you look at and you think, you know, we could have been ahead of the curve there and should have been ahead of the queue and checking these players out. And then the ones that we seem to be getting in, some of them in the past, you look at them and think, well, who's making those recommendations? I mean, most recently, Runnison. You know,
I think they've killed our scouting network, though, haven't they, Stan? I think one of the big things they did do was cut back on our scouting network.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those reasons why we've not maybe been able to pick up on players like that. But yeah, you're right with the funds. I think a lot of people give them a lot of grief around money, but actually they have spent money. But it's like you say how they spent it and where they spent it. I think a lot of other things. I think the other thing is integrity in their intentions. I think it's very difficult for fans to really get on board with owners like the Cronkies when they don't seem to be very open and they don't seem to have a connection with the fans or the club. You don't see them coming to every game or being really present at the club, making a real connection with the fans, being open and honest. You look at Leicester, really good example actually of that. As you mentioned them, Stan.
Yeah,
you look at their owners.
Owner.
Yeah, exactly. When they won the FA Cup, they were straight down onto the pitch.
Yeah.
There's a real sense of connection with the owners.
Yeah.
We don't have that, and I think that's where some of that link gets lost.
Mm-hmm. Look, I would counter that with Chelsea. I mean, yes, their owner does attend a lot of the matches, and all of the time that he's been the Chelsea manager, I've never heard him speak. I love to do impressions of people, and I'd love to do one of Roman Abramovich, but I've never heard his voice.
That's true. It's very true.
I don't know what it sounds like, and I'm not really that fussed if our owner doesn't want to go to all of our home games. It doesn't really bother me. It's what the structure is doing, that underneath that level, and for all intents of attending matches, it seems that Josh Kroenke now seems to have more of a full-time presence in London. And I think you're going to see him at a lot more of the home matches this season. And I think you'll probably see him at a lot of the away matches as well, getting to know the owners of these other clubs a little bit.
Some great points there. I'm loving the chat here. Great podcast. Sam, what are your thoughts on the last 5 minutes of the conversation?
Yeah, no, Stan makes a lot of good points. But for me, the main issue with the Cronkies is, yes, they have spent money. That's undeniable. That's facts. It's the spending of the money, the way it's been spent, that's been wrong. But another thing the owners can affect is they can affect who spends the money, right? So it's the choosing of the director of football, the technical director, and also the manager. So that's where we've been lacking is they don't have the ambition. They're just happy that the club ticks over, brings in their percentage or whatever they want.
Yeah.
And where we are in the league, they of course ideally they would like us to have Champions League to bring in that extra cash. But whether we're fourth or we're 10th, to them at the end of the day, yes, they would prefer we're in fourth. But if we're in 10th, we're still in the Premier League. We're still getting a lot of money. For them it seems to be okay. And it's because I think a more ambitious and engaged owner who would want Arsenal, the best for Arsenal, would be changing managers a long time ago. They'll be saying, okay, Arteta was a mistake. We tried something, it didn't work. Now let's go and correct that mistake by bringing in a top level manager, or bringing in a Conte or whoever.
But Sam, more and more this season, especially the margin between 4th and 10th is going to be very fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very competitive league now. The last couple of seasons have shown that, and I think this season also looks very competitive. The top teams are beating each other. They are able to drop points against lower clubs. So it is going to be the possibility for us, and it is there to get top 4 potentially, even though that's going to be very tough. But top 6 should definitely be an attainable target for us.
Yeah.
The way things are going, but I just can't see it happening because unfortunately we have a manager who, yes, he has come a long way, but he's not going to take us up into that dead zone on Everest, because the guy doesn't know how to adapt to other teams' tactics. We saw it against Norwich. They played against Brighton. They played a high press, and we just decided to just play direct and get the ball right back at us where they were pressing us. Instead of trying to play around them, instead of trying to play around their high press, we just tried to play direct and kept getting the ball straight back at us all the time. It was just completely the wrong tactics. And again, that's the difference between a manager who's trying what he wants to do, but not really realizing it's wrong and needs to adapt and change and do something better, and a top level manager who would see that. Tuchel, a Conte would change that straight away and do something better. So that it's in the matches where things are won and lost, when other teams adapt and change things. You see
Yeah.
the top level managers do that.
Yeah.
The ones who are not top levels don't really do that, or they make the wrong choices. And also with substitutions, look how much the right substitutions affect the outcome of a game. In the terms of changing someone doing in a different role, or you're bringing on someone to do something, a specialized task. And these things can be very effective, and you see the top teams using that a hell of a lot better than what we do with Arteta. So, that's the difference for me. But back to Kroenke. Yeah, for me, the money's been there, but not the decision making. Not the you got to change. You got to change if you want the real ambition. You got to change the director of football, the technical director, and the manager. You got to bring in a proper team. You got to say, okay, let's really go ambitious. Who's the best? Can we get them? How much? Can we get them? Go out and get the best. Go out and get the Red Bull. Go out and get the Red Bull Leipzig team. Get them.
Yeah.
The director of football, technical director, the talent team. Bring them in, and then you can bring in a top manager. If you can't get in Ten Hag, you try and get maybe a Conte or someone at that level. What are you laughing at?
Jesus, these new owners, man, and they're fucking miserable as fuck, the three of them.
I've just looked in the chat.
I don't think Steve Bruce is new for this world, man.
I'm going to drop out, and I'm going to let one of you guys take on the hosting duties. Who wants to do it?
Well, he's just laughing and he's dropping off. What you got?
No, but Gary said let me in.
Oh, okay.
There's only 6 slots, Gary. Only 6 slots, though.
Gary's banned.
Who's gone? My hair's gone. Okay, my hair.
Oh, my hair's gone.
I coming in my hair. What's up with that?
He is. Here he
There's
is.
no room at the inn, man. There's no room at the inn.
That's not what I wanted.
What happened there? As soon as Ray mentioned who wants to host, my hair fucks off and Gary's in there like fucking Flynn.
I don't make these moves, dude. I don't make these moves. This is Ray's the one that put me in. I was waiting around for a spot. That's all.
I will be out in the coming weeks. I will be away. The wife's orders. So each one of you will have an opportunity to host
Wife's
a show.
orders.
Let's do it.
Wife's orders. So yeah, listen. Prepare your pens. Get ready. You can do hosting duties. Each one.
You
of
have to
will
send us
the
your
opportunity.
Menudo notebook, or we can't do it.
Yeah,
right?
shut up, you. Yeah.
That's true. That's like the I don't know. It's like the Bible or the good word. Cannot do the show.
We'll have to see if Sean Dyche has got some time in his calendar. Maybe he could do one for you.
So Sam, I don't know. Like, this is Manchester United. We've had a star-studded six-man crew here, and the balance has just been brilliant. Now we're bringing in a superstar here in Gary. It might upset the balance.
Everything has to go through him. Everything has to go through him.
I don't know what you're talking.
Ronaldo.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
He's not a superstar until he gets on a South American
It's been a brilliant chat. We've had Sam Dyche stop by. It was an amazing interview with Sam.
I missed
Dyche.
Sam again.
Sam, you mean Sean?
Sean Dyche.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, I know Sam. He might be a long-lost
Sam,
brother or something.
Sam Greenwood dropped in. Matt's been here from the start, and all y'all been late. All the rest of you been late. So,
All you never picked was same fucking start time on Sunday.
so yeah, listen. Shout out to Mahir. He's always willing to go back into the chats, and I think he likes it there anyway. So don't none of you feel bad about that. Yeah, so we're having a great chat about what are we chatting about lately? Arsenal and the setup, right? So let's just continue as if Gary wasn't in the background shouting, "Let me in, let me in, let me in." You notice 6th slot, Gary. You can barely see it out in the bottom left-hand corner here, so that's my excuse. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. No problem.
So, where were we, Sam? What were we talking about?
We were talking about the best ingredients for making cookie dough. No, actually, we was talking about the Kroenkes.
We were talking about the Kroenkes, and
yeah, we're talking about the Kroenkes. There's no enthusiasm at the football club anymore with them. Is Arizona's basically, and the reasons why.
We're talking about Man United. Let's pick up with Man United again, guys.
Yeah, let's go back to Man United. They were talking enough about
your enjoyment of United losing yesterday was immense. It looks like I'm giving Tottenham 3 points right now. It's 20 minutes to go. 3-1 leading, and that's unfortunate. But yeah,
fifth in the table, Ray. Somehow.
What's that?
So they're fifth in the table somehow.
Yeah, Man United are fifth in the table, right?
No,
Tottenham.
they're sixth. Tottenham's fifth.
All right, Gary, take it away. Man United yesterday, entertainment, 4-2 victory, loss to Leicester.
That's great. We like to see that. I mean, I was happy. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
As many said, we want Ole in, right? We are all
Ole. We're all in on
give that
Ole.
man an extension. Extend his contract, keep him there. We are enjoying this. He will let them down every time, and we'll take it. All right.
I'll just say that Rio Ferdinand interview early doors was give him the contract, let him sign it. Don't think that lasted very well, did it? Didn't age very well.
No.
Okay.
We need some enjoyment because Arsenal's not giving it to us all the time. So whenever we can see some extra joy on our faces, meaning United goes down, we'll take it because who knows what tomorrow brings, right? We don't know what's happening tomorrow.
Exactly.
So we'll take today, or should I say yesterday, enjoy that. The only problem I see with that is that at some point we're going to have to play Leicester City, and I don't know. Hope we're not laughing at United so much that they forget who they are when they play us, and we're sitting on the other end of that as well because we are not any better in my now.
No, Gary, let's laugh at them now. We'll cross that.
No, I will, but I always have it in the back of my head that you know what? I don't want to laugh too hard because I don't want Leicester to get too big headed and think it can happen again.
It's DWTT. Don't waste the opportunity.
I'm having fun with it. Definitely.
All right. Who do we hate most? We'll start with Gary and go counterclockwise. Who do we hate most? Spurs or Spurs or United? Maybe said Spurs or Arsenal.
Wow, I got United. I mean,
really?
I know because the Spurs are closer. Spurs. Now, I like it when United loses. I like it when we beat them. We even on our dark days, we can still beat the Spurs, right?
Yeah.
And that's
so United. You hate United more.
Yeah. I mean, you know why? Because I still. As I was thinking about this yesterday, I think, and I still see some of those matches we played against them where they just destroyed us, and those things still stick in the back of your head when you think about some of the bad matches that we've had. It was either United spanking us a couple of times, or like the Barcelona games where they just kind of killed us, and Bayern Munich, those kind of games where you're just like, well, it doesn't matter that we're on the second leg of this Champions League game. We're already down 3 goals and we can't score, so we're in trouble. Whereas United has spanked us around every so often. They kind of so I like to see them lose. That's for me. I enjoy watching us, watching the Spurs go down, but I definitely like to see United.
For me, it's always going to be that old enemy, Spurs. Dan, where are you at on this? Spurs or United?
Spurs for me, then probably Chelsea.
Then Man United.
Chelsea ahead of Man United, but I mean, I liked it back in the late 90s, 2000s, whenever it was, when I looked at Man United as a healthy competition, right?
Yeah, Ian Wright, Peter Schmeichel battles.
You think how many seasons if there was no such team as Man United, if you wiped them from existence, you woke up in it, they never exist. How many titles would we have? We'd have a lot more titles in the bag, right?
Maybe 5 more, maybe.
There was a long time where we were the second best team in the country, but played probably the better football. That little, Ferguson does have that winning way about him, but it's always going to be Tottenham, isn't it?
It still kills me when Leeds beat us on I think it was the final day of the season to lose to United. United scratched out a win, I think, in Middlesbrough. Sam, Spurs or United? Who do you hate more?
Of course, it's Spurs. You hate more because they're the historical rivals. We hate them above everything, don't we? But
we moved into their spot. It's a
rivalry against United. It's that rivalry that came with the Premier League era, and as Stan said, it was an epic rivalry we had for many years. It was us and them. It was 2 titans against each other every year, battling it out with the best players. I mean, like you say, some of some of the battles we had. I mean, Vieira and Keane. I mean, wow, what a battle that was in midfield. And up front you had Van Nistelrooy against our defence. Keown basically just making a mockery out of Van Nistelrooy when he missed the penalty. I love that because he dived. Honestly, he dived for that, and to miss that penalty was justice. And to mess around with him like that with Keown, and that was just so fun. It's so good to see. United people hate that. They, of course, but they would. But anyway, that was an epic rival, and we hate them because of everything they were at that time, right? Because they were always out against us. They were always out. The players were against us. Ferguson was against us. Media was against us.
Still is.
The media are also. Yeah, there's always. They write more negative than positive against Arsenal. They do. And the thing is. It's just that you also felt the FA was a bit more behind them in terms of there was that fucking Fergie time, remember? Yeah. They'd always get that extra minute or two that just came out of nowhere. And Solskjaer, talking about him, would often be the guy who'd come on and get the winning goal, right? It was just I remember it happened so many times. They got that win, in the injury time at the end, and that
the 97th minute.
Oh yeah,
Steve
Bruce moment.
It looks so suspect. They got the extra minute or two, but that was their thing. They were, like Stan said, they were just so keyed in on winning. That was it. That mentality. They would win games. They were a winning machine, and to be up against that and take them, basically to the line every season, just about every season. That was a rivalry that will go down in history. It's an epic rivalry from. What, like 1995, 96, basically, until...
For about 8 years.
Yeah, about 2005, 2006, about that time, right? So, you're looking at 10 years of rivalry, aren't you, there?
And that spanned the time that Vieira was at the club as well. Those
exactly.
Years.
So, it was epic. There's that classic saying, you don't know what you got until it's gone, right? Until you don't have it anymore. Yeah. That is just so... It sums it up to me, that period of time there when I was lucky enough to be right at my, peak. I was young.
You're at your peak, weren't you?
I would say my peak, probably. At my peak, definitely.
Me too.
I was 14, 15. I was 15 in the 95, 96 season. And to go through those years with that Arsenal team, it was magic. It was fucking magic. And now you see, we're never, ever, ever probably likely to get that back in that way. We will probably win a title again and a few trophies here and there, which is fantastic. That epic rivalry like that was just.
Did we take it for granted, Sam, a little bit?
I think we did back then. I think we did. We enjoyed it, of course. We celebrated correctly, and we were. I think we certainly handled it very well. But it's just when you look back at it now, what we had. My God, how fantastic that was, and look at where we are now, struggling down in 13th. If we lose against Crystal Palace tomorrow, we're back in 14th spot.
Don't talk like that.
We shouldn't do it anyway. But anyway, they were epic times. And I miss them so much because it was like, those games. We were playing United. They were epic battles. Whether it's Old Trafford. Where we only beat them a few times, like 2 or 3 times, wasn't it? During that time, we beat them at Old Trafford, and they only beat us 2 or 3 times, basically at Highbury as well. But they were just incredible battles, weren't they? They really were. I loved watching those games.
I think next international break we got to go back down memory lane and do all of this stuff and talk about.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah,
that Van Nistelrooy penalty that Sam brought up. Yeah. What gets me about that whole sort of situation, if you go and watch it back, Ray Parlour was lucky to stay on the pitch, man.
Yeah.
He's Van Nistelrooy, a right naughty little dig when they're all going by him. A proper little dig he does, and he gets away with it.
Yeah.
And you know what? You don't see that. I mean, as much as you guys talk about the Spurs being your most hated, you don't get that. I never seen that in a Spurs match like that.
Yeah,
a guy standing up to take a penalty, and everybody that wore red, the Arsenal red, basically hated that guy. Everybody, and on a pitch,
Yeah.
and just when he misses
It
it,
was,
and you're just like, the football guy.
It was a different- it was
I
a
don't know,
different
man.
kind of rivalry because we were fighting for the title every year.
But we've had feisty games against Tottenham. I mean, there's been
under Emery,
fights and
it's 4-2.
feisty games against Tottenham. There has. It's been out of the spite of between the two teams hating each other.
It's
Rather
a different.
than
It's a
rivalry.
different kind of. Yeah, it's a different kind of hatred, isn't it? It's a different kind of rivalry.
I don't know. The last game I attended was the 4-2 under Unai Emery, North London derby, and that was spicy as hell, man. That was spicy as hell when they all came running off the bench. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And Dyer was telling everyone to be quiet.
Stan, you probably feel that on the terraces as well because you have that local indemnity as well, the local rivalry, all of the match-going fans as well. They live and breathe that because they got to go into work mostly and deal with Tottenham supporters in their offices as well locally. You know what I mean? Arsenal played.
Can I just say one last thing about that period of time? Just one last thing, because one of the things that really resounds in my memory that I remember so fondly about that time, and it just goes back to that saying, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. And that was at that time when we were playing, I would say the best football in the world at that time during the Invincibles period, leading up to that period there. We were just unstoppable, and our destiny was to win the Champions League. We should have won that fucking Champions League against the Barcelona team. We were far better than them. I mean, we outplayed them at times with 10 men.
Yeah.
That's how good we were.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, against the Barcelona team with Almunia in goal with 10 men, it's going to be a struggle, and that's unfortunately what happened. But our destiny was to win that game, and we should have bloody won it. Anyway, but that time, what was so amazing was we were playing this football at such a different level. And I remember thinking as a fan at that time, it was never if we're going to lose the game. Never, ever. It was always, we're going to win this game, maybe at worst a draw, maybe.
Yep.
But we're going to win this game. And I remember it was how many goals are we going to win this game by? That was what it was. And you know what? The thing I'll never forget is at that time when we were at our peak, we would race out of the gates from the first second. We would race out of the gates and we would get 2 or 3 goals before half time. Every game. We would get at least 2 goals before half time every game. It was always like, how quickly and who is going to score these goals before half time? That's what we talked about, and it was incredible. It was always 1 or 2 up after like 15, 20 minutes because we just raced out of the gates and we just battered teams with the way we played, just steamrolled them with our counter-attacking, lightning quick counter-attacking football. And it was just so amazing to watch. And we just, I took it so much for granted then because I was thinking, oh, how great this is. But now we don't have that at all. It's like, I miss that so much. It's like, are we gonna beat Crystal Palace tomorrow? Okay, football's moved on. The other teams have improved as well, of course. But if you go back to 2003, we're playing a team like Crystal Palace. It'll be like, are we going to win 4 or 5-0, basically? That's what we would talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got Newcastle down to 10 men.
Shelby's been sent off.
Voldemort.
Really sad. Interestingly, United fans see Liverpool as the bigger rival.
Is it a penalty?
That's because of the race.
It is, yeah. Kane's stepping up to take a penalty at the moment.
Free kick.
Was it a free kick?
Yeah, United see Liverpool as their bigger rival because it's the race for how many league titles. I think one's on 21 and the other's on 20.
Yeah, that's their traditional rival, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, think as well,
they are the top 2 historically. They're the top 2 teams in the country. Arsenal are 3rd. Stan.
Just touching on that period as well. Back then, I don't know if people realise how lucky we were to have both Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry at the same time. At the same time, because usually you get one or the other, right? Comes along through your club. Talent of that fucking caliber. To have both of them
unreal,
at the same time
unreal. Yeah.
And think of it this way, Stan.
It was embarrassment of riches, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of the partners that Dennis Bergkamp had made really much better as well. by his passing. Ian Wright, Anelka, Thierry Henry.
Oh, he was a striker's wet dream, wasn't he? He was just, I mean, any striker wants to play, any forward player wants to play with a player like Dennis Bergkamp. I mean, geez.
And on top of that, you had players like Perez into the mix, Lundberg into the mix, Wiltord into the mix. All of these players can get goals as well.
Yeah, Overmars, what a machine he was.
Overmars is like my... He's like my secret little favourite. He is. I love Overmars.
The way he would just speed down that left wing, and he was good at finishing as well. He could score goals as well. I mean,
he ripped apart
what a player! What a fantastic player! And the big thing I remember so special about Bergkamp was when he those first years when he really got into form, his peak years there at Arsenal, there in the late 90s. Or mid to late 90s, when he just scored magical goals. I mean, you just knew if he was anywhere near the goal and he had that extra second, he was curling it into the top corner somehow. It was magical finishes from him. Incredible player.
He had pace. He had pace to kill as well.
You even had a player like Canu who could come off the bench.
Yeah, I love Canu.
That hat-trick against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, that's got to go down in football history, hasn't it? It really has.
Also, was it the Middlesbrough game where he did that kind of little flick?
Yeah.
Is that the Middlesbrough game? Yeah, I think we won something like 6-2 or 8-2, something ridiculous like that.
He had another flick over a Tottenham player as well in Northland Derby. Flicked it over his head, found it on the other side.
It was amazing skill. Amazing.
Young fans never realised the joy of winning the league at Old Trafford. I mean, that was the ultimate, right? Winning White Hart Lane for the second time.
Done it all, haven't we?
And I think I've long said that I've made peace with the fact that I've seen the best Arsenal side that I will probably ever witness. But I would like us to win titles again. We don't have to. It would be nice if we're better than that team and win it in more style, but let's win some titles again before I depart this earth.
You just wanted to see us being ultimately up there, challenging, super competitive, because like everyone's touched on, and amazing memories. The excitement of those games because we were so competitive. And it wasn't just a club rivalry, it was a personal rivalry. It wasn't just United, Arsenal, two top teams in the league battling it out. It was, like you say, Keane and Vieira, Ian Wright and Schmeichel, all of these individual battles on the pitch. It just made it so exciting to watch. And I must say, I think the time that I probably hated United the most, or one of the times that I hated United the most, was sitting and listening to our semi-final, the FA Cup semi-final, when Giggs scored that goal.
Yep.
My word, I just
took his shirt off and got his rug out.
My two half brothers went to Villa Park to see that game, and they were so gutted, of course, at the end of everything, because we thought we was going to win it with the Bergkamp penalty. We thought that was it. I was sure as well.
And that was the treble-winning year.
Watching it live on telly, and they were actually at the game. My two half brothers went up to Villa Park to make matters worse, as if it could get any fucking worse. After the game, walking back to I think it was the bus. I think I took the bus up there with the away fans. Anyway, walking back to the bus, the coach, I think it was. My half brother's fucking pigeon shat on his forehead.
Oh no!
It's like 3-2. Thanks for that. After Giggs just
Newcastle has scored. It's an own goal.
Oh no!
Is it Eric Dyer? I just see Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
He hits it into the far corner. Really
Unfortunately, maybe too little, too late.
I don't know. I would love to see an equaliser right now.
I would love to see an equaliser. It would be like that West Ham game last season, 3-3 with Tottenham. We enjoyed
that's unfortunate. That is as an own goal as well.
I can't stand
Oh dear.
I was going to say to the there wouldn't have been an Henry if we'd have kept Anelka.
Yeah. What is he doing?
We got Henry because Anelka left.
Yeah, when Anelka left, we got Henry, and
as well, I believe.
we can thank Anelka's brothers and or agents for
But
that.
I do think, having said that, yes, Henri was just different planet. But having said that, I do think I've always had it it's always been my opinion anyway that had we kept Anelka, I think he would have been a world beater.
Oh, he
as
was
well.
superb. He was superb.
He was so incredibly talented, and I
Just
think
what was he always going to be that player though, Sam? A little bit like what was it, Bartonelli? What's the Liverpool guy?
Balotelli. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. We don't know because he had his. We don't know whether that was self-inflicted or his brothers had something to do with that as well. I don't know. Maybe he was himself a bit of an arsehole as well. But I mean, at that age. But I'm just thinking if it hadn't been for his brothers and if he would have, had his head screwed on a bit more tightly, I'm thinking if he would have stayed with us, I think we would have seen an amazing striker with him. A real world-beating striker. Not Henri level necessarily, but a real top level striker. And it's a shame we didn't see that, right? But then we did thankfully get Henri after him. Wow, the rest is history, as they say.
Exactly.
As I understand it, I don't think behind the scenes Nicolas Anelka was a bit of a rabble rouser or anything like that. I remember reading an ex-player's book, Arsenal player's book. I can't remember whose it was, but as I get it, he was very introverted. Sometimes they'd all be on the coach ready to go to an away game, and Wenger would have to literally go and find Nicolas Anelka and coax him to get onto the coach, and then he would get on the coach, sit by himself, put his headphones in, and just sit there for the whole journey with his headphones in, not making eye contact with anyone.
Yeah.
So I just think he was a bit sort of. He was very young at that time as well, and
easily
just very introverted guy, and was getting a lot of advice by the wrong people, or maybe the right people. I mean, I'm sure he's a very wealthy man.
Yeah, football career didn't really get to where he wanted to do.
I think when Henri came, he may have been. I mean, he's gone on record as saying when he came, he had to prove himself. He had to take the tackles from Adams, Keown, all of these players, and he had to show his worth as well. So, yeah, I think definitely we've left some meat on the bone. There's lots of meat on this bone to pick at in the weeks to come whenever content is a little bit light. Gary, 93 minutes. It looks like Tottenham are going to hold on.
Yeah, we're not going to get a good weekend, right?
We had a reasonably good weekend with United losing.
It needs to be completed. It needs to be complete, right? So that's what I mean. Right? You guys just talked about how Spurs are your most hated team, so you would expect you'd be happy to see them lose today, wouldn't you?
I'd be happier if we get 3 points tomorrow.
That's okay. Yes, yeah, you got me. Wow. We're just talking about hated teams, right? So
yeah, of course.
I like to see all our rivals lose. All right, that's what I like to see. Yeah. That's how Plus we win. Yes, perfect weekend. Mm-hmm. Perfect weekend. Yeah, I think Newcastle, whatever luck they had, they got it with that one goal. But they needed to have created the 2 goals themselves. Yeah. So the football gods are going to run out of time here. So. Things over there. Yeah, we need. You know what? We have to do our job, right? We always look around at the league and we see all these teams kind of losing points here and there, and then it's Arsenal's turn to go out and play, and it's almost like they think, well, you know what? Since everybody else lost points, we don't have to come out there and do our business, and that's what we see all the time. We need to see it change, right? We need to win tomorrow. It doesn't matter who we're playing here on out. We need to win. Here are these stories. Vieira's coming home. They have a really good squad. Everybody has a good squad. Isn't that isn't that what we've been saying all along? This is not an easy league. You got to come out and play every game, and you got to take advantage of every team when they give it to you, right?
Exactly.
When they give it to you, got to take advantage. And we don't do that, right? Brighton, we didn't do it. Tomorrow I believe we have. We have a really good attacking side. We need to take advantage of that when we get that. So, that's what I'm looking forward hopefully to see. I haven't heard anything about anybody being
Injured or
injured.
anything else,
Well,
yeah.
just not coming back from international play ready to go. Right. Usually, they have a practice beforehand, and we hear that they're out. But everybody's healthy and everybody's scored. Right. Everybody that we want to see scored on their international break. Right.
Yeah,
Except
we
for
went through that on Thursday night. We have
Yeah.
multitude of players. Tony, we hit 2 hours. Okay, so we're going to go for another 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, is that okay with you, Tony? All
My
right, Tony.
contract's 2 hours. Anything else is bonus.
Tony, we're in 13th place now. 3 points tomorrow will jump us to 9th, and that will be not a bad weekend then.
Yeah, we'll jump up to
9th,
or we could be 14th, or we could be 12th with a draw.
Oh no, we won't be 12th.
So that goes back to you and Stan. We're in the middle of October. Is that good enough?
Yeah, look, I need at least another 10 points here from these 4 games, Tony, for me to be
it's
happy.
the middle of October. You're to give him until October. So
Watford.
The end of October.
Watford game.
Yeah, Watford game. The 2nd of November, technically.
I think I'm going to that Watford game.
Highlight. Are you going to the Watford game?
Yeah, that's the 7th, 6th or 7th. No, 7th of November, isn't it, that one?
Yep.
Is it home or away, Sam?
We're home. Emirates. I'm going to go see that game. I'm going to go with the Blind Gooner.
Nice. Nice.
And we want to get Daniel on the podcast again. I want to have another chat with Daniel. We've had him on
Bailey.
before. Yeah, big up Blind Gooner.
Yeah, I mean that will be the last game, right? I mean, we'll know hopefully by then where we stand because that we're playing all teams that.
Well, the second we finish that game, I'm calling Ray. I'm calling him up and saying, "What do you think, Ray?"
You know what? Have you seen, Sam? Have you seen the 3 games after that we played? Liverpool, United, and Everton. That is grueling.
Those 3 games are going to be tough, aren't they? Really tough.
Yeah.
Even if we were, up in the top 4 already, they're going to be different. They're going to be different. They're going to be tough games, no matter where, no matter how good we are. So
that's why we have to win out because we have 3 out of those 3 games.
We have 4 reasonable games here. Yeah.
No, those have to be wins because the next 4 are 3 away and 3 against really top teams, and then Newcastle right there in the middle kind of thing. So.
Whoa, the new kids.
No, but you know what? It doesn't. No, but if we lose to them on that stretch of games, that's not going to look too good, right?
No.
So we have to win all these games. It doesn't matter. There's no we can take a draw here. No, we have to win these matches. That's what it has to be, all right? Because the next 4 are, basically the worst stretch of 4 games or 3 away games in a row, against top teams is just. You can't, we don't think we play good away. And if we come into that match on a little bit of a low because these 4 games don't go the way we want, it could get really, really, really ugly. All right.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back again in December going, what's happening here? Are we getting a new manager?
14th or 15th again, does he get sacked?
Stan.
November.
Stan, quick word about Wolves yesterday. You enjoyed that one, right? Aston Villa 2-0 up.
Yeah, I woke up because it's early here, and I'm lying in bed looking at my phone, and it was Southampton and Leeds. Yeah, and remember, I originally said that I was going to pick Southampton, and they won. But meanwhile, I was looking at Wolves.
You're cussing me out. You were.
That was like 2-2 on like the 94th minute, and I was just lying there thinking, "Fucking hell, what did I listen to Ray for?" Because you talked me out of making that thing. Like my original.
Nobody listens to me.
You talked me out of making my original pick. I was like,
you went for Watford, right? You went for Watford, didn't you, genius?
I reached because Gary and Tony went for Leicester. I wanted to do Leicester, but I switched. I got off my original.
We're even gonna let you switch, Ray. We're gonna let you switch back, and you still want to do.
You should never get off your. If you have something in your gut that you feel, you should stick with it. And I got off for that.
So far, Liverpool has shown that, you know what? No, don't bet against them just yet, right?
All right. So Reddy says, where do you think they'll finish, Gary?
Liverpool looks really good.
Nerd.
They look really good.
Yeah,
Huh?
give me a number.
Give you a number.
2,
How many?
Three.
At
Wait,
least-
where they're at.
I'm going third.
I'll go 3.
I think 2. I think 2.
Okay.
I
Throw
think
up your
2 because
fingers,
I
son.
think 2 because I think for me they don't yeah 2 because I think who you guys think will finish 2 will get knocked down a little bit. So, but yeah, 2 for me.
Listen, I really enjoyed the Aston Villa, and given a large through the summer, and now they're not doing the business. You know what I mean? So, hey, I think we should round things up anyway. Final thoughts. So let's start off with Gary. Final thoughts, Gary?
Yeah, well, like I said, looking forward to the game tomorrow. The weekend didn't complete the way we wanted it to, but that's all right. We have
It was a roller coaster weekend, Gary.
Fucking go to amusement park already.
There we go.
no, all right. No more roller coaster talk on this show again. All right, please.
All
This is
right,
not
I can't
you know what?
follow-
This roller coaster is all created and built by one Arteta. All right, he created this roller coaster. He knows where he's the one that can flatten it out if he wants to.
I for one, as a supporter, I accept there's going to be ups and downs in the season.
Oh,
That's
come
a roller
on,
coaster.
please, guys.
All good roller coasters.
Oh, you guys just
are
sitting here
all
listening
doing
to this. Listen, nonsense. Stop.
You
Right.
love it. Everyone who watches this loves it because you're going to get 6 people. We're not going to all agree on
That
anything.
is true. That is
That
true.
is
Especially-
true, right? And sometimes I think you just take the opposite case of me, just for the shits and giggles.
Is it sunny outside, Ray?
Yeah,
No, it's
cloudy,
raining. It's
cloudy,
raining. No,
cloudy.
no, you just changed your
I,
Anyway, yeah, no, I'm looking. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing the game tomorrow. I think we should. Russ, you're.
I've just spotted that.
All
comment
these
as well.
He
teams
keeps
are
doing this.
within 1 to
I
3
told him
points with
no,
us, so
and
we
you
should be
put it up
winning
there.
tonight.
No, take it off.
How's that
it
a
off.
roller coaster?
Take it
It
off.
seems pretty steady.
I keep
What?
telling you guys that's like I can't get those thoughts out of my head, and he keeps bringing them
Hey,
back.
Gary, imagine a roller coaster that looks like a centipede.
You guys hate me. What are you doing? What are you doing?
All
Oh,
right.
That's what
so
a roller coaster.
that was your final word, Gary. Thanks for joining. You were late. You know you were late, right? But you didn't have to come on. But thanks for coming on.
Jerry
Cheers, mate.
can't ever refuse a podcast.
Hello.
Stan, your highs and lows and your final word. And I know you missed Sean Dyche. Really wanted you to be here while Sean Dyche was with us.
I'll watch that back when we're done. I'm going to watch it
That
back.
was bloody amazing. It was
But
brilliant.
tomorrow, yeah, another 3 points for me. We want to run. We just keep the run going. You know?
We're 5 unbeaten.
Exactly. And as it's home tomorrow, right? We're at home tomorrow. So yeah, we're at home tomorrow. I want us to. We should be coming away with a win. No draws, no losses. I'd like to see a win. And again, it's going to be interesting to see what team he goes with because we're playing twice this week, right? Playing again
Yes.
on Friday. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he rotates or whether he feels that these players can play 2 games in a week and then have a bit of a rest with the cup game coming up. But I can't wait. Nice lunchtime kickoff for me. So I don't have to crawl out of bed really early for once. So I'll be into my day to watch the game. So I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we got 3 games in 8 days.
Wow.
So.
Yep. One of them is a cup game, though. Right? So you got to definitely rotate for the cup game. Mahir said, big up everyone. Show today was absolute fire. I thought it was a brilliant show. And we got a few more minutes to go, but I really enjoyed it tonight. Sean Dyche, probably the highlight as well. And Stan, thanks for not having to lie in and for rolling out of bed and dropping on today with us. Brilliant stuff.
Cheers, mate.
Sam,
Now Stan's
good
gonna
to
go
have
back
you.
to bed.
Pajamas and shit on. Look.
Superman, yeah. Super Stan.
Superman pajamas.
We have
I thought you'd have your underoos on.
We have Super Stan and we have Sexy Sam. Thanks
Feast
for
for the
joining,
eyes.
Sam.
Yeah, this you get it all on here, don't you? You get it all on here,
Good and bad.
good and bad. Yeah. No. No, I mean it's just you've got to beat Crystal Palace tomorrow, haven't you? I mean, if you don't beat Crystal Palace, then there's no real point to it all, really, is there?
Come on.
You know, so
It's not that bad. Come on. It's not
well,
that
I
bad.
mean, come on, they're Crystal Palace, right? We're Arsenal. If we want top 6, we just have to beat him. It's as easy as that. And if we don't, it just shows you again we've got the wrong people in charge again. So it's as easy as that. Just quick answer to Russ. First Monday, the 1st of November is the day I actually fly over to the UK permanently.
Right. Cool.
So I'll be over from there. We have to meet up for a few brewskis because he's not that far away from me, if I recall correctly. So that'd be great. I just want to listen.
Is your coffin coming with you?
Coffin? No, I've got one lined up over there already, ain't I? Right, I got it all sorted.
You bringing the missus?
My old used one. I'm just gonna leave that here.
Are you bringing the missus though? That's the
I've
big
got
question.
visions now.
I've got enough of them. Got enough misses.
Now, this boat sailing into London. All the crew are dead.
Up through the
All the
Thames.
crew are dead, and it's just this one
Up through the Thames.
oil.
Yeah.
Hold.
Mooring up at the Tower of London early in the morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no worries. All lined up. But yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Got them off
train of thought here now. But anyway, get Crystal Palace, just got to win. And in terms of those games, Leicester is going to be tough. The other games there, we have to win. It's just as easy as that, you know. I mean, we just have to. There's games we have to win, and that's what we've got to do. And for me, Arteta, like I said, you know, he's at a certain level, and he's not going above that. You know, he's not good at adapting. The game management. He's not good at that, and that's where he needs to improve greatly. And he hasn't. As I said, he hasn't learned that. Mm-hmm. He can't really learn that. That's his limitation in his ability, and that's why for me he's not good enough for Arsenal Football Club, because he's like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's going to take you up to level 3 or level 4, Camp 4 at Everest, and that's it. You can't go higher than that. You want to go to the summit, you need a top level manager. It's as easy as that. So I'll leave you guys with that one. Thanks for having me on. I came on late today. I was busy. But
thanks for joining.
You've just been laughing and high on a kite. I don't know, high as a kite in the background anyway. So I don't know what you've been doing throughout the whole show. You've just been laughing and giggling, but it seems like you've had a good time anyway.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Listen, you've all been fired today, so my job's been pretty easy. Thursday night, I thought my performance Thursday night was not great, so.
No, you had a good one Thursday. I saw the first 5 minutes. I couldn't see more, but you're always doing a good job, Ray.
Off.
All right,
Ray
has
to keep us all in charge. He has to keep us all in line. That nutcase above me there, you got to keep him in line. And it's not an easy job. We're like a bunch of kindergarten kids, all in different directions.
Respect to all of you who wait your turn to be called upon, and you bring great stuff when you are called upon. And I just want to shout out.
Still waiting. My thoughts.
Shout out to everyone in the chat. It's been great in the chat as well. Thanks for having me on, guys.
I want to give a shout out to Alex as well. I mean, we started this podcast with Alex over at Cannon Fodder TV. He's definitely been a brother. I call them the sister channel. They've supported us all the way along, and long may they have great success over there, Alex. So big up yourself. Thanks. And listen, the 3 guys in the bottom, Gary, Stan, and Sam, good stuff tonight. I've yet to get to the 2 others on top here, and we'll finish this out. This is going to be a long outro, it looks like. I don't know. I think Tony and Matt will leave it a little bit shorter, right, Tony?
Sure.
Look at that.
Start with your
Tony's a maverick. He does what he wants, and everyone lets him get on with it. There's Steve Denham right at the end. Legends coming in at the end, Tony. Alex and Steven, what more can you ask for?
Yep, it's about time for Steve to show up. He should have been here earlier.
Well, you probably blame me because they switch around the time slots, right?
You and your fucking revolving door on Sunday shows. I don't get it.
All right. Final thought, Tony.
Final thought.
People want to get on with their lives. Come
insane. The next 4 teams we play, there's a max of 3 points between us. minimum of 1. So that seems pretty steady to me. Pretty even lineup of games. How's that a roller coaster? You do not want your manager to say the next 4 games are to be a roller coaster.
I think I personally will come back and say, as a fan, I want to have the highs and lows.
Hey, this is my final words, right? Not yours.
Go ahead. I'll mute myself.
Put him on mute, Tony.
I'm surprised he hasn't put me on mute yet.
Go ahead. You're good tonight. You were bad Thursday night. Oh my God.
How was I bad? I was just being feisty.
Gary, what was it like Thursday night?
It was great. Tony is Tony. We know what we're gonna get, man. This ain't a box of chocolates. It isn't gonna be different every time. It's the same. You just have to learn to love it or not, right?
Tony is not a roller coaster.
He is not a roller coaster. He's not a box of chocolates.
All right,
man.
Tony. Hand it over to Matt when you're done, Tony.
Okay. So anyway, with all that said, we play Crystal Palace tomorrow. Game scares me. I think Vieira's I have him up playing. To me, I think the best result where they get a draw, which still isn't good enough, which puts us at what? 12 still?
12,
12.
something like that. A point is a point, yeah.
12, or we could be 14th, which is sackable by now, I think. I don't know why we keep getting Arteta more and more chances. Like you said, we have 3 hard games after these 4 so-called easy or winnable games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we'll be right back to 14th or 15th, late November. Same story as last year. You sacked the fucker.
He's going in strong.
What did Chelsea do? They fired their amateur. They ended up winning the fucking Champions League.
Yeah.
Got in the top 4, all because they gave up on an amateur guy.
I'll take that.
We need to give up on the amateur guy, but
Tony, if you can make that happen, I'll take that this season. We win the Champions League this year.
Ray's still delusional, thinking Arteta's going to pull us through. We keep getting better players. Solid back 5 with the goalkeeper.
Tony's gone in 2-footed on Arteta.
Yeah. I'm not too happy with Russ. First he comes in with an old movie, and now he's talking about doing the top bunk with Sam before me. I don't get it. What's up with that? So Russ, you're in the doghouse.
Sam and I can finally do a top bunk. Okay, Tony, can I hand it over to Matt?
I wasn't quite done yet.
All right, come on.
Like I said, I'm nervous about the game tomorrow. Hopefully Arteta puts out the right team, gets Aubameyang out of there, gets him out of a captain's band, goes back to a revolving door with probably Lacazette as captain. It's more suitable because it's going to be a tough, gritty game. Aubameyang doesn't fit that style. Now Matt can speak, I guess.
And thank you, Tony.
God, should we let him hold it?
Oh, right. Leave it alone.
I could say, watch out for Biden and Sam. Show.
I just want to say tonight has been really good fun, actually. We've dipped into nostalgia and the old glory days. We've had Sean Dyche come on and speak to us. It's been great. Thank you all. It's been a pleasure as always. But and everyone else in the comments has been great as well. It's been really active tonight. So thanks to everyone in the comments. But yeah, on Monday, I expect us to win that game. I think we have to. I think Stan mentioned, obviously, for momentum and carrying on that kind of streak to kind of pick up the much needed points, especially now. Obviously, I think to climb up to, I think we're being 7th, is it? If we 7th or 8th?
9th. 9th. We get 3 points.
So even more important to pick up those 3 points, because just to maintain kind of to be whereabouts where we are now. So, I think we absolutely need the 3 points. I can't personally, I think out of the next 3-4 games, I'd expect us to maybe win 2, draw 1, lose 1. That's kind of where I'm thinking.
7.
7 points. Yeah, that's kind of my that's my feeling on it. But there we are.
Yeah.
I hope you're
think
wrong. I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong as well. But that's where I'm thinking at the moment. But yeah, I think we just need to stick with the same team until the league, the League Cup, and then kind of start resting players then. Because like I say, we've got some fairly tough games coming up after that, so we need to go all out before that game against Leeds to pick up as many points as possible. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping for 3 points tomorrow.
All right. And listen, I want to say thanks for joining the crew. And so Matt will be your regular fixture moving forward. And of course, the rest of us here will be regular fixtures. I want to thank all of you. You take time out of your lives to come on the podcast. And I really, really appreciate that. You get up early and you get up late. And it's all much appreciated. And listen, everyone slap a like on the video. I really had a good time on this one. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, if you missed it, where have you been? You know what I mean? Let's get 3 points tomorrow. Somebody said London derbies can be tough. I think it was Riddy. But, we've come to the point where Arteta needs to show his mettle. And we got to get 3 points tomorrow. Hate to end streams like this, but because they're having such fun. But save some on the meat on the bone. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
See you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.